to the 9/11 War Room, a weekly roundtable discussion that takes place every Sunday at 5 p.m. Eastern Time. Tune in at 911warroom.com.
Welcome to the 9/11 War Room. My name is Gene.
Hi, my name is Sandra. Today's Sunday, May 31st, and we've got episode, what? 230? You're covering that.
237.
237.
Yeah. LA Mayor candidate Spencer Pratt distances himself from past 9/11 conspiracy comments, said he was young and naive. This is with Jake Tapper, CNN. Jake Tapper's not the greatest journalist in my opinion, but here's how this went down. Just prefacing by this, once you get into a position where you could be elected, you tend to check your morals at the door.
Yeah, this is someone who's running for some kind of a position. Spencer Pratt, is that his name?
Yep, mayor. Yep.
Mayor. And yeah, you'll see the perfect example of someone
Tucking his tail.
Turned human to politician.
Here we go.
I know you've been criticized for, in the past, having gone on the Alex Jones show. Our K-File investigative team was interested when they heard that, because some of your critics have been talking about that. And it's interesting. In a series of tweets back in July 2019, you praised this film, or films rather, 2009, I should say. Back then, you praised Loose Change. That's a series of conspiracy films central to the 9/11 truther movement, alleging that the attacks on 9/11 were an inside job. You wrote, quote, "Anyone who can watch that and not see the truth is blind." Now, around the same time of these posts, you went on Alex Jones' show and you suggested 9/11 was an inside job. Take a listen.
What about government-sponsored terror? What about 9/11? What about governments staging terror attacks? Is 9/11 an inside job from your research?
Not from my research, but from your research, it 100% is, because I can't even believe that it took me seeing your film to know about Building 7. How did that not hit the mainstream media?
Do you still think that 9/11 was an inside job?
What I've learned, almost 20 years later, is it's actually the negligence of the people in power. I would have loved to have gone along with when my house burned down and my parents' house burned down, everyone saying it was lasers, it was a land grab, it was just like Maui, but it's not. The reality is people in charge fail us as taxpayers. And when you're listening to that audio, that's a 21, 22-year-old person. I'm now 42 and have experienced city negligence, state negligence. And I've learned a lot about it. It's actually worse than a conspiracy. It's that we have people in charge that make mistakes that get people killed. So unfortunately, I was young and naive to understanding how there is people that will fail citizens across the board. And I would have to go back and look at all that. I haven't watched any of those things in 20 years or whatever. But I bet now, with my fresh eyes of surviving the city's negligence that burned 12 people in my neighborhood alive, 7,000 structures, seeing how fast the internet was said that was a conspiracy, and how I had to be like, no, this is how it happened, this, and this. Now with new fresh eyes, I'm sure I would look at that a lot different. I think anytime we see something that's just so shocking and unbelievable, we as humans want to try to find excuses, but sometimes the excuses are just real simple. People failed us as taxpayers.
So that interview was in 2009. It was in July 2009, so you were almost 26 years old, just to be clear. Do you regret saying that? I mean, do you now accept that 9/11 was because of al-Qaeda terrorists, not because of an inside job by the U.S. government?
Well, no, again, what I'm saying is I believe a lot of people failed to allow the al-Qaeda terrorists to get in. So I think the negligence in government allowed, not on purpose, but just failures. They didn't burn my house down on purpose. They just failed. And again, everything I've done in the past, I was learning. I'm not perfect. I didn't run to be mayor because I was some perfect past. I ran because there was no other fighter to stop corruption now. I was happy just living my life, feeding hummingbirds with my 2 kids, taking them to school. I didn't have this life to become one of these career politicians where I didn't make mistakes. I wasn't human. I didn't say dumb or stupid things for 20 years in a very public light. So, regret. Of course, I have 20 years of regret. I've talked about how many regrets, but that doesn't connect to my mission now. once you lose everything, once your parents lose everything, once your neighbors lose everything, you become a new person. The person I am now is very different than the person before January 7th. So.
All right. LA mayoral candidate Spencer Pratt, thank you so much. Appreciate your time.
Thank you very much.
Whatever it takes to be able to get in position of election for mayor of LA. So
Supporting 9/11.
oops, sorry, go ahead.
And supporting 9/11 truth is not a good look on any politician running, at least not in the mainstream.
So who knows? Maybe he's just playing the game just to get in. Maybe, you know, once he looks at those films again, yeah, Building 7 still looks
suspicious.
So Spencer Pratt, if you're in LA, have to be Raul. I don't know if you want to vote for him or not, but there's a possibility. Next news story we have. This was a really wild, I didn't get to see it, but Sandra sent me the clip. It was a debate between baby boomers and millennials. And on the millennial side, you had Alex Stein, Harrison, what was his? I keep forgetting the name. Harrison Smith and Owen Shroyer. And they battled some boomers. And here's the question where 9/11 came up.
Do you believe the official story of 9/11?
Do
you believe 9/11? Do you believe the official narrative?
I believe 9/11 was an attack by...
You're not answering the question. Answer the question, yes or no. Do you believe the official government narrative of 9/11?
I believe that Sharia...
So no, the answer is no, but you don't want to admit that, because if you admit that, you admit everything that's followed that is based on a lie.
I don't know what you're saying about...
Like Muhammad Atta.
What are you talking about?
He did cocaine, he was with strippers. Do you think he was really like a religious zealot?
I am perfectly prepared to accept that, yes.
That he was a religious guy?
I am perfectly prepared to accept that religious guys do that sort of thing.
But he was from Saudi, I'm saying, but he was from Saudi Arabia.
Way to paradise.
I know, but he was from Saudi Arabia, and then we go
So what do you believe? What is the narrative that you believe?
Well, I believe that Condoleezza Rice and George Bush had, knowledge of the attacks before. They were warned by the FBI. They didn't.
What about Howard Lutnick, too?
I'm saying they didn't take the threat serious enough. So that's just the official story. If you want to get into the conspiracy side of it, the majority of the hijackers are from Saudi Arabia, who was an ally of ours. And then if you look at what happened, they use that.
Ally of ours?
Well, I mean, they're soft.
It's not.
Yeah, particularly back then.
Well, we do a lot of business. We do a lot of business with Saudi Arabia, but I'm saying we never invaded Saudi Arabia.
And Qatar. And
but I'm saying we never invaded Saudi Arabia. When we went to Afghanistan, they weren't from there. And if you look at the Mujahideen was created as a proxy group to fight the Russians. You can watch a movie called Charlie Wilson's War that we funded this. So I'm just saying we funded the Mujahideen, and guess who was connected to that? Osama bin Laden. So at one point, Osama bin Laden
worked with them.
I know. I'm saying, so we worked with the guy that blew us up. It sounds awfully convenient, is what I'm saying.
Worked with them against the Russians.
I know, and then all of a sudden he just attacked us. It's just the story. It doesn't pass the smell test.
It doesn't pass the physics test.
It doesn't pass the physics test, says Owen Shroyer. Again, I'll put this in the show notes. This, again, was a debate, the Great MAGA Divide, baby boomers versus millennials. And again, it was Owen Shroyer, Harrison Smith, Alex Stein versus Frank Gaffney, George Raisley, Karen Sigmund, and moderated by Brandon Straka. So I'll put that there for you guys to see. Next news story, not corporate level, a little bit less, alternative media. Benn Swann put out a great video a while back on 9/11, and he's revisiting it a couple times lately. And he mentions the flight simulator study and some other things. I'm just going to play a little bit of this. Props to Benn Swann.
We begin tonight taking a look at some of the new
Where's my volume?
details coming out about the September 11th attacks, the day that changed America forever.
It's a little hard to hear.
We begin tonight taking a look at some of the new and shocking details coming out about the September 11th attacks, the day that changed America forever, the day that launched 2 decades of war, mass surveillance, the Patriot Act, the TSA, the expansion of the national security state, and a complete transformation of the FBI and CIA's power inside the country. And now, 2.5 decades later, new unredacted court documents are raising questions that should have been asked a long time ago. Questions about what the CIA knew, about what the FBI covered up, and questions about whether or not the American people were ever told the full truth about 9/11. Spoiler alert, we were not.
So he gets into the Canestraro report.
Explain that these
Natali from Clayton, Natali and Clayton Morris from Redacted. Natali revisited. I guess they reposted it. It was a story they did 3 years ago, but that's cool to see Natali and Redacted reposting this stuff. Then Benn Swann later gets into and starts talking about the
Because the man who oversaw
the flight simulator study.
and government
And it's like Mike Benz is revisiting the visas. Sorry. And then we get into
trying to fly the plane into the Pentagon, deciding to take a leisurely descending turn right in front of the Pentagon, knowing that it's a defended and it's the US military in controlled airspace, knowing that the US Air Force should be supposedly racing to get to you, makes.
So that's fantastic that Benn Swann's getting back into it. I'm sorry.
And also that he's promoting the Piers Robinson and International Center for 9/11 Justice study on the flight simulator.
Yes. So on that, if you haven't seen it, Piers Robinson breaks down the new flight simulator study that was aired on. He did an interview with Redacted with Clayton Morris. So that's out there. I'll put that up in the show notes. A couple other appearances by Richard were released lately. This is Jeremy Nell, I think is his name. He goes by Jerm Warfare for the UK column. He did Richard Gage on Building 7 in the Twin Towers, Jerm Warfare. Check that out. And also, Richard was on Anything Goes with James English. And that's posted all on Richard's site, richardgage911.org, or you can go to the YouTube channels and check it out. I'll put those the links in the notes.
Yeah, Richard's on the call if he wants to add anything.
Yeah, Richard, any takeaways from either of those two shows?
Yeah, 2 hours and 50 minutes with James English. He's one of the top podcasters in the UK. So really good opportunity for us. He's interviewed David Icke and Andrew Tate. They got a couple of million, I think. I don't know how many we got so far. Probably not anything like that.
Whoops.
But it was a good in-house interview. He flew to Spokane, nearby Spokane, and I went down there to meet him in person. Yeah, and then the UK column is a nice opportunity for us, and he's going to get us other interviews on the UK column. That's Jerm. He goes by Jerm Warfare.
Yes.
And we apologize. We're going to have to get off the line in a few minutes because of an appointment.
Okie dokie. Thank you for joining.
Bye, guys.
Hey, Gail.
Hey.
So yeah, check them out, Jerm Warfare, and Anything Goes with James English. Again, put those links in the show notes. Thanks, guys. Also, we have in the news, I already talked about that. Natali, Redacted, made the post about the Canestraro report. Again, that was an old report, but it's great to see them putting it out again. And what else do I have? Mike Benz. This was also an old story on the visas, but they're putting it out. These new influencers, Wall Street Apes on X. He has 1.3 million followers and starting to talk about the visas. So again, people are noticing there's getting more and more awareness. More and more awareness is taking place. So it's just fantastic. Also, this past week, the 9/11 and other deep state crimes teleconference interviewed Eric Rassi, or Rossi. I guess he goes by both last names. I don't know how that's possible, but he does. And he was joined also with Jessica Coco. She made some pretty wild claims about the dancing Israelis in Liberty State Park. Some things I still got to check and vet. This guy, I think, is Gerald Ford or Greg Ford. I think it was Greg Ford.
Greg, yeah.
It was a police officer, and he saw the guys and went over to their car and saw that they had a fake press pass. That is verified, and they joked about it. And then she claimed that when the trunk was open, they saw rocket launchers or something like that. But I can't find that. I can't verify that anywhere in any of Greg Ford's final or latest articles that he put out or whatnot. So it's a good interview. Check it out.
Well,
Again, that's
big one, Spencer.
yeah. Anything to add on to that, Craig?
I don't think so. I think I made that mistake last week when I referred to him as Eric Rassi, but apparently that's the way he spells it. So maybe it's pronounced Rossi, but it's I double checked the spelling and it is with an A. So
all right, 10-4.
Yeah. So I mean, I guess it was I was mostly listening like most people. Well, I wasn't as Yeah, it was just very interesting. But I mean, I haven't really like checked into all the stuff that they brought up. I mean, the idea that there were people recording, that the thing that interests me was the idea that there were other people recording, in advance, that were there in advance with foreknowledge, other than that were in, I guess, directly across the water in New Jersey, but not the dancing Israelis.
Yes.
That intrigued me, and I'd like to see something to kind of back that up.
Yep.
Well, I mean, the thing is, ultimately, I'm sure there were a bunch of people who had foreknowledge and were there to quote unquote document the event. The dancing Israelis only hit our radars because of this lady in the tower, in the high rise that was able to overlook where they were, and calling the cops, I guess. And then there was a news story about it and stuff. But I'm sure there were a bunch of others that.
Well, this is Liberty State Park, that where you and I went down.
Right, no, but I'm saying in general, like for the whole, regardless, I'm sure they were scattered everywhere. But the dancing Israelis caught people's attention, and the others not so much, right?
But this one seems to have attracted somebody's attention because we
yes.
heard about it.
Yeah.
So
there was talk that they had video cameras fixed on the building before the first plane strike. So we're still trying to verify that from all these old news stories.
Right.
Carl has his.
Thank you, Craig. Go to Carl, and then I'll finish up the news, and we'll open up the table.
Well, I would just point out the Nadal brothers, who I met in person at a event in D.C. where they were showcasing their film about January 6th, which was a complete propaganda job, and anti-Trump, just blaming it all on the protesters, not acknowledging that there were Asian provocateurs in the crowd who encouraged people going into the Capitol, etc. And I asked them if they completely accept the official story of 9/11, and even World Trade Center 7. And I find it politically interesting, the politics that they would be invited to present, or they created this documentary about January 6th. So isn't it so odd that they were in the perfect spot and they tilted their camera up at just the right moment to capture the first impact? I mean, what are the chances of that?
I guess that's pretty wild. The one that gets me is when George Bush walked into Booker Elementary and says, well, I was watching the screen and I saw the plane hit, and I thought to myself, that was a dumb
some terrible pilot.
Yeah, some terrible pilot. But unfortunately, the first plane strike was never televised.
Well, not that day. Only the next day.
The next day. So, what live stream did he see the first plane strike?
Yeah, what kind of insider camera angle did he have?
When Andrew Card whispered in his ear, that was the second plane strike. So
he clearly meant that day that he saw it, because he described being in the school when he saw the first, looking at a TV in another room.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But still, why use the terminology inside job? Because those who have foreign interests may have very well been the ones that facilitated it, even those implanted within our government who have foreign interests at heart.
Inside, outside job.
Still inside.
Well, inside as in orchestrated by the people supposed victims. I mean.
Yeah. But most people, when they think inside, they hear inside, they think, oh, it was just entirely within the corrupt U.S. government, not that, oh, wait, Zionism has been at work for over 100 years in almost every major geopolitical event.
And on the opposite end of that, I have a big problem with the whole Israel did it crowd, because that's exactly the reverse of what you're saying. Is like that it was only them and nobody else, and they sent their own people into those towers to rig them up and stuff. So inside job to me just describes the fact that it's not what the official version told us.
Why don't we just call it false flag terrorism?
Which whatever we're comfortable with.
Yeah.
That's neutral with respect to whether it was an inside, outside, or a mutual operation.
Good point.
Semantics, I think. We all know what we mean.
Important semantics.
Last couple news stories. Boston 9/11 Truth is going to have Richard Krushnick coming up Boston local. What day is that, Sue? That's coming up?
It's this week.
Oh, is it this week?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Thursday. Yeah.
All right. That'll be Thursday the
4th.
4th.
Oh, 4th, sorry.
Yeah.
All right.
And on the 18th, we're going to have Fran Shore. And the 25th, we're going to have Paul DeLaurius.
Paul DeLaurier. All right.
So you're back to every 2 weeks.
Well, no, it's just whatever we can work out.
All good.
Brilliant.
All right. On that note, it's 5:20. It's the time when Building 7 fell. We use that as an opportunity to say a quick prayer for 9/11 justice. So if you guys just take a moment with me for that. Lord, we come to you right now. I thank you so much for everyone involved in the 9/11 truth movement. Despite whatever they believe, that we all agree that there should be justice. That's what we've been fighting for all these years. Just ask you would protect us, give us wisdom and guide us, protect us from all the onslaught of false narratives and government cover-up and all of this, that we just honestly and genuinely seeking justice for those victims, the victims that continue to die, the country that's just under this Orwellian tyrannical government from this just going on for so long. Lord, I just ask that you would bless us and encourage us in the justice that we seek. In your name I pray. Amen. Mm-hmm. Thank you, everybody. Last news story. The 25th anniversary event. We did get confirmation from this gentleman. Where's my drum roll? Where's my drum roll?
You could have used that sound effect.
I don't have a drum roll.
You don't?
Anyways, here we go.
And here, I often make this point. So here's the Twin Towers, and here's all the way over here. So the plane did not hit this building. I go, if you think that a steel frame building built to collapse into his own footprint because a plane hit another building 100 yards away, I've got a vaccine I'd like to sell you.
There it is. There's my
brilliant.
All right. So yes, Jimmy Dore has confirmed that he will be part of the headline for the 25th anniversary event in New York. That's just fantastic news.
Yeah, he's going to be most likely presenting on the Saturday, which is going to be the long day. The event is going to span from Thursday to Sunday. Thursday will be evening event mostly. Friday we'll have the new movie, The Responders, being shown in the venue in the afternoon, and then there will be an evening program there. Saturday was pretty much an all-day thing, like from 10 to 10, with longer breaks. The big problem in Washington last year was that you had very limited time between blocks of presentations to, just kick back and breathe and talk to people. And, so everything was always a big rush. So we made sure to leave enough time for people to be able to go eat and whatnot. And so Saturday's the big day. He will most likely be the last presenter of the day. He's not going to do a comedy bit per se. He will speak, I guess, from his own
knowledge and what he's learned.
Yeah.
Because he's already interviewed, Leroy Halsey, Richard Gage, Kamal Obeid, Kurt Weldon. So he's got some knowledge about it now.
Oh, so he's definitely and he's totally on board, obviously. So so that's great news. So he joins Ian Carroll, who is also confirmed, James Corbett, who is also confirmed. We're these close to confirming a few others, but we're waiting to make sure that of these three before we proceeded.
Being part of the planning committee, I'm learning some things like these. They talk a lot in these planning committees, which can bore some people to tears. But but it's well thought out. Well talked about. Who do you ask first? And then you can't just go out and ask the big guns first, because you got to show some incentive for them to want to speak with other people.
Show that you're serious, and that you can draw these kinds of people.
So it's like you can't ask anybody to get a venue, and that took forever to find out what the venue was, and then now we start getting names and
even just negotiate. It's not to find the venue so much. We found it, I think, like 3 months ago. The problem was the whole negotiating the contract, and what is covered and what we can have access to and about the whole technical stuff. So there's
a
just like
lot
an
to it.
insane amount of back and forth. I mean, we're doing, like, I'm almost doing nothing else right now. There's letters to write. I have, the letter that's going to go out to all the people who signed up to get the information first. There's, letters to donors. There's letters to the public. So it's just a lot, and there's a lot of people to speak to and contact. So
it will be at the Museo del Barrio. This is up on the Upper East Side, and from Central Park. It's actually like 5 blocks away from Epstein's old house. I don't know. No relevance, but just funny.
If anybody wants to sightsee.
Yeah. So yeah, that's that.
So the venue seats 560, I believe. I think I explained this already. It has an upper level that can be cordoned off, closed off with a curtain. So that on the days, on the Thursday evening, maybe if there's fewer people there in attendance, if you're not sold out, you can close that upper portion so it doesn't look, hollow in any way. But the Saturday, especially if we can reel in a couple of others, there is a good chance we could sell that place out. And the other thing we have to negotiate is accommodations with nearby hotels from people who are coming from out of town. If there's anybody in New York who is willing to provide a bed or a room to visitors vetted by us, obviously, then that would be great too. So yeah, and it's going to have a little cafe area where they will be serving food, and that we'll have tables like we always do, tables for people who are interested in whatever, selling their things that they have that's related to 9/11.
Mm-hmm.
A word of advice for folks that are driving there.
Yes.
Park outside the city.
Yes.
Park outside the city, take the subway, public transit in. Do not bring your car into the city.
Yep.
Absolutely.
Sandra and I probably will be getting a place up in Secaucus, New Jersey. There's a Meadowland Plaza Hotel. It's like a half-hour drive in.
But it's half the rate of any New York hotel you'll get, so it's almost worth the drive.
Yep.
We'll see.
All right. So with that, the table's open. I did want to start it off because just thinking what Al is most interested in activism. And what do we do as activists? I'm not going to give you a homework assignment to go do something, but I just want to hear if you guys think of something. I'd like to hear what you guys have as things that you do as activists. That's the most simple thing you can do. And I'll give just a couple examples for myself. Wearing a t-shirt. When I go to the gas pumps, I'll put a business card or a sticker on the gas pump, or,
Okay, you're skipping the most obvious story here.
What's that?
We were driving to supper yesterday to have supper with his mom and his brother, birthday week. And we got into a 3-car pileup of an accident. We were the middle car.
Young guy came, plowed into the back of us. We hit the car in front of us.
Yeah, on the middle of the highway. It was fun.
Yeah.
We were obviously okay. His truck is a beast. It took the impact. I mean, some parts of the truck are hanging, but but the car behind us really got mashed up badly. But that being said, there's must have been 4 or 5 police cars that showed up, got our story, our information, all of that stuff. And what did a cop say to you?
Yeah, the firefighter walked in front of me. I was wearing my 9/11 was a false flag shirt, Carl. And he saw the back of my truck and said, "Hey, I really like your shirt and what your back of your truck says there," which was really cool. So firefighters agreeing that, they got questions about 9/11 as well, at least in the Pittsburgh area.
Yeah, but again, and that's just the person you hear it from.
Mm-hmm.
There are so many people who see it and just quietly nod to themselves, or they get curious and start looking into it, or it confirms something they already heard. Everybody's in a different place. So, it's just, I hate to say it, it's like marketing 101, right? Not most of it, but a lot of it is visibility. right? Nobody talks about it. You don't show it. It's not visible. People forget. It goes to the very back of their minds. If, I mean, big companies, if they advertise, it's not to convince you that they have the better brand or the better taste or whatever. They're trying to stay visible. They want to stay in the forefront of your mind. So when you come across that product, you're like, oh, it's recognizable. It's familiar. It's what you gravitate towards. So the more you normalize talking about 9/11 and putting the questions out there, well, the easier it gets for them to consider it. It's not fringe.
I asked my son, this was 5 years ago in Denver. He was staying in Denver. I'm like, do you ever see anything 9/11? He goes, never, Dad. I never see anything. I don't see a T-shirt, a billboard, a sign, a sticker. He goes, I don't see anything.
Well,
so,
when do we see it here? I mean, everything that's 9/11 here is you.
Stuff that we did.
Is your responsibility.
Like, hey, I remember hanging that. Anyway, let's open up the table.
Yeah, so I want to hear from anybody who has tips on things that work for them and that can work for other people. Or, I mean, we talk about the obvious things, but sometimes there's ways to hijack situations, no pun intended, to make them work for us. Never anything criminal, never anything illegal. I don't even think I need to say that.
All right, let's go to Magnus.
Oh, can you hear me, Gene?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I am just saying that the best thing here is to visit firefighters and try to come to New York because that's where the people live who cares mostly about 9/11, I see. So I would try to do that this summer, this September.
Magnus,
yeah.
let me ask you. So you go to see firefighters, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So walk us through it. Because this is the intimidating part to a lot of people, right? Most people don't, I mean, except JB over here, who's done a lot of that. Most people are intimidated. They don't know what to say. They're afraid that they're going to be kicked out of the firehouse. So what do you tell them? You ring the doorbell or you walk into the firehouse and you say what?
I'm just asking to show them a few things about the World Trade Center and if they want to see it and if we can compare other buildings fires and just look at it and some PDFs. And if they are willing to do so, then we can keep going on with videos and all kind of weird stuff they haven't seen before. And hopefully they would start asking questions.
I love the genuineness and sincerity there. He's just very innocently going up and talking to them saying, hey, have you guys seen this? Would you like to talk about it? That's
so students too, Gene. Students too at the bus station were asking me, "Oh God, are you making a movie?" And I said, "Actually, yes. 9/11 crimes in the courtroom, and the teachers upstairs have no idea what the third building is."
Right.
Do we have time for a video, Gene? It's 40 seconds into the lobby explosion.
Yep, let's do it. Let me get there.
You.
Yep.
Great to see you both.
Good to see you. Let's get there. Here we go. 40 seconds into it.
Yeah, thanks.
Sound on.
I worked for the Trade Center, one of the carpenters, and I was going to go do a job. And I got on the elevator, and the freight elevator, and I heard the first explosion, and the elevator blew up, the doors blew up, and it dropped. And I was lucky that the elevator got caught in between two floors.
Which floors?
The B levels, the basement levels,
right.
where all the all the mechanics are.
Right.
And with the screaming and yelling, other co-workers pulled the elevator guy out, and myself. I was laying there for about 40 minutes, and my boss couldn't wait for the EMS. He went crazy. He says, "Get her out of here, get her out of here." And he was able to get me out through Barclay Street to the parking lot, and I want to thank him for saving me, because if I would have stood down there, I wouldn't have been here today.
At what point did you actually get out of the building?
When everything first started, according to the hospital, I was the first trauma patient that walked in here. So I was lucky to be one of the first, but after the first explosion, I was laying on the floor about 40 minutes.
And how well do you know that subterranean part of the World Trade Center?
Well, I worked for the building for 15 years. I think I know it from the back of my hand. Really, I didn't expect this bombing to occur after the first one, since I was in the first one also.
Right.
But when I heard that explosion, that's the first thing I thought was, here we go again, another bomb.
And as you lie there, and we're very glad that you've survived, obviously, how hurt are you at this point?
Well, I'm doing much better. My body
Thank
feels
you,
like a truck.
Gene. You can maybe see that later, but the description, it's she survives explosion in the World Trade Center basement, so we can listen to that later. Thank you.
Right on. Carpenter Marlene Cruz survives explosion. She said bombing twice. And again, as William Rodriguez said, he and 14 others witnessed an explosion before in the sublevel basements before the explosion that happened up higher in the building. Roughly 6 seconds later, I've heard him say a couple times. So, that also, well, I'll hold off on that one. Next hand, Carl. What do you got, Carl?
Well, as far as maintaining visibility, I think most everyone on the call would agree that both the National Park Flight 93 site and Ground Zero have both been co-opted as indoctrination centers, where even periodically busloads of junior high or even younger age kids are brought through to be indoctrinated to believe the official narrative. And that's why I was surprised, maybe a month ago, when I raised the idea of litigating to create, a space, even in the entire Ground Zero space, or at least something that's not pushed off to the perimeter as a First Amendment zone, so that people can distribute literature and talk with those who come to visit. Now, I think the excuse, maybe Sandra, you said that would somehow be disrespectful of the families. No, I think it's disrespectful of everybody to allow both of those sites to persist as indoctrination centers. And we need to pursue litigation to obtain First Amendment protection in those areas.
Are you talking specifically about on the anniversary or all year round?
All the time, anytime, and specifically on the anniversary. Well, why not? No, I mean that's when it's visible.
Yeah.
Of course, one is presented with the possibility of being, quote, arrested because the as the foundation controls it, and I think they still let the Port Authority harass people who try to speak about anything other than the official narrative. But there's a long tradition in our country of sometimes having to get arrested to even bring visibility to injustices. So, I mean, you said don't do anything illegal, but what if we're told is the law is blatantly unconstitutional?
Yeah, I'm with you. And Ross, I mean, it's interesting because I think the line between Port Authority and NYPD, as far as responsible for that area, I think it's
the World Trade Center.
It's the street. Is it BZ or Church that's on between the Millennium and
around the two fountains, the two holes in the ground.
That is the Port Authority, yeah. And I don't disagree with you.
Think of the impact if we had 500 people from the event up there, the conference, if we all went there somewhat en masse, just holding flyers about 9/11 truth.
Well,
World Trade Center 7.
I mean, every year that we've gone, we've always been exactly on the other side of the street. So not Port Authority territory.
Right, but there's a world of difference being across the street, though.
Yeah,
it's accepted being given second status citizenry.
I think
that they can exclude us because this is their indoctrination zone.
2 years. For 2 years that we went up there, they would only let the family members in during that day. Anybody with a blue ribbon was only allowed in.
Well, the question is, what they let people do versus what what citizens and patriots actually do.
Yeah,
So
I
I
don't
would still
disagree.
raise that's a consideration for what should happen during those days up in New York on the 25th anniversary. And by the way, one of the most important aspects of the build up to 9/11 was how did control of the two towers transfer from the Port Authority owned those buildings, and yet they were privatized and then leased to Larry Silverstein. Last week I brought up the powerful impact in history of a man, Nahum Goldman, who was president of the World Jewish Congress, speaking about the New World Order. Well, the man who negotiated and facilitated transfer of the Trade Center towers from the Port Authority into being privatized was the current president of the World Jewish Congress, Ron Lauder, just one of the most prominent people in Zionism that there is. So that also circumstantially points towards who was behind, setting up the false flag event.
Yep, I think it's a great idea. We'll think about that. If anybody else wants to talk about that more, I just know every year they do. Larry Silverstein basically put like a bike rental, those rental bikes. He put that on Vesey right behind the post office where we used to be. And then they now pull the gates up to the top of Vesey so that you can't even protest or
What if
demonstrate
we
there.
could get Mick Harrison to pursue an injunction? It's a simple filing to enjoin
Amendment right.
the relevant authorities to not preclude people from freely mingling and expressing their First Amendment rights on that property.
Right to
I wish
peaceably assemble.
I wish Mick would do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, for what it's worth, Ross Muir says that you are allowed on the premises, even with 9/11 shirts or anything that you have. The only thing that they will disrupt is if they think that you're showing up as a group. And if you're more than they'll accept 2 people, but as soon as you're like 3 or 4, they're already going to come and tell you to disperse.
Let's bring that up with Mick the next time his
Yeah.
Saturday call. So he didn't have a Saturday call this past Saturday. His workload is too much, but I think he plans on doing it next Saturday. Let's bring that up there. But thank you, Carl.
Well, no, I've been there. The Port Authority simply tells you that you'll be arrested if you don't leave.
Yeah.
And if they don't let it build up beyond 3 or 4, well, then you never gain critical mass.
absolutely.
So if you just show up as a couple of hundred, well, let a couple of hundred Port Authority police show up, and maybe that'll make the news.
Yeah.
And presumably everyone would bond out that evening. So thank you.
Can I jump in there for a moment, Gene?
Sure, Sean.
Okay, I don't know if it's private or public property there, but aren't we going to have some? You just said that a couple. Gene Carroll's going to be there, right? And maybe
Ian Carroll,
and a couple others there. Geez, I can't for the life of me remember
Jimmy
his
Dore,
name.
Jimmy
Dore, yeah.
I bet Jimmy Dore would be up for it, but both Ian and Jimmy Dore probably be willing to have handcuffs put on them for 9/11 truth. I mean, can you imagine?
I couldn't imagine.
It would be powerful.
That would be. I'll try whispering in his ear when we get up there. I don't know.
Not everybody's got a David Schlesinger in them.
Thanks, Sean. Thank Carl. That's good. Mike Figa, I don't know if you want to share your the project you're working on, or what do you got?
Yeah, it's super confidential actually, because it's very related to 9/11, but I'm keeping it separate for a lot of reasons. But yeah, I'll repost that in the chat. So if anyone wants to email me, I can't even promote it myself. It's really not that crazy, but I just don't want my name associated with it for a few reasons. So yeah, if anyone can email, I'll repost it. But if anyone can email me, definitely take some whatever posting on X, or check it out if you agree with it. Then on activism, sorry, I wanted to. You guys probably know I'm partial to billboards because the Rethink 9/11 campaign. I know you guys and Ted are not going to have the bandwidth, but I actually was thinking, I proposed, I think even to Richard maybe a months ago, but now that I realize if you got Ian Carroll and Jimmy Dore, I think, and we can take this all offline, but if we could do a GoFundMe, we could try to get pre-approval for a single static billboard in New York City, and do a GoFundMe for an excess amount even, right? Or if you go over the goal, right? Whatever, you know what I mean? Whatever we need to do it, and then maybe oversubscribed. But if Ian Carroll said, "Hey, let's get a billboard in New York City, can you give $5?" I think it would get paid. So and even from the door. So like it just them pitching it a little bit would probably help, and also give them speaker fees and nicer hotel, whatever, anything. The whole point is and we could get a billboard because they if people don't know, the internet has censored. I mean, my podcast don't even exist that I went on. Everything's off the internet these days. But I think Time Magazine covered us, and actually, shoot, I'm reminding myself another thing. RT did, and then they pulled it. They had it up for a month. It was almost a shot across the bow from Putin, or Putin told them, "What the hell are you doing?" I don't know what happened
I
with
don't think
that.
you're sharing.
No.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I don't know if you can hear that, but yeah. So
No,
RT.
no. I thought that Gene was trying to share, and I was telling
I
you
was
that
waiting.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, yeah,
Keep going. I didn't want to interrupt you.
Yeah, yeah. And then the other thing was RT. I met Benn Swann in New Hampshire, and I gave him a letter. And I don't know if that inspired it. He did the coverage like on his own. Unbeknownst to me, I don't even know. I guess I wasn't looped in. But I do want to get in touch with Benn Swann. If anyone has a way to get in touch with Benn Swann, also email me. He's a little aloof, but he's obviously a great.
Well, he's on our list of potential contactees. So
okay, yeah. If you get in touch with him, because last time I talked to Richard, he whatever, he couldn't hear. I don't know. Who knows? But if anyone get in touch with him, he will definitely want to talk to me also on this actual project as well. But yeah. So that's it. Appreciate any help anyone can offer. Because my hands are tied in some ways, but it's been a lot of work.
Nice, Mike. Thank you.
Yep, thank you. That's it.
yeah, I like the billboard.
And by the way, on the billboard, sorry, I'm happy to manage that billboard thing from the logistics side. If I think, yeah.
Yep. Here's some pictures of billboards in the past that they've done. I think this is the New York Times, was right next door. So that was fantastic.
Yeah.
The one year they actually had this video billboard on a corner. I don't know where that was, up in New York somewhere. Another.
Oh, that's that. Yep. That was the 47-7.
And then the truck driving around. That was fantastic. And then a legit billboard. That's fantastic.
Oh, you just missed the one you just had maybe two ago, whatever. It was a square one.
Yes.
Yeah, that was one more back. Yeah, that's 47th and 7. That was a giant billboard in Times Square. Ironically, at 47th and 7, which is 47 stories for Building 7.
Wow. All right.
Cynthia McKinney and Pepper and other people spoke right there. So now that you have these names, I think the billboard could exactly defray costs or get some money.
Yeah.
And also would just be it will help media coverage actually, right? Because they just like to ignore us, right? So if there's a billboard offer 9/11 Truth in New York City and a conference, I think it'll help us. So yeah,
definitely worth considering. We'll throw that idea in the hat and see what we can do with it.
Yep.
Is Ron Johnson a speaker?
He is going to be approached.
Yep.
Okay.
All right. Thank you. Thanks, Mike. Let's go to Jack Bottomley.
Hi. Yes. I'm interested in the big picture, and I think the quote that you gave of Jimmy Dore saying, "I'll sell you a vaccine."
Yes.
It's excellent. It's kind of a big.
Yeah. Oh, you broke up there. I just happened to find one other picture. It was the picture I was looking for. This is Hector Noel. Some of you guys may know him. He put out those biker jackets. Goes to 9/11 inside job. We know it says on one of the patches, but here he was at that 47th and 7th. There you go. You're back, Jack. Go ahead.
Shall I finish?
Yeah, go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Yes,
We hear you now, but we lost you for about 30-40 seconds there.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I have two friends that older friends that I had been, talking to about 9/11, and they got into whataboutism. They kept saying, "Well, what about this and what about that?" And they would be details, and I would send them videos of something that would answer it. And one finally was convinced that 9/11 was an inside job, but he never said anything about it. He just did nothing. And the other one sent me a letter this week saying, "Don't send me anything else. I'm loyal to my country. I'm loyal to Israel, and I don't want to hear any more about this. Don't send me anything else about 9/11. So when you get into the details, and you can spend a lot of time on it, I spent hundreds of hours looking up things for these guys. It often doesn't get you anywhere because the people are just not open to it. So it's important to not waste time on the details.
Yeah, and it's also important to meet them where they are and accept that they're not ready. The more you push, the more they're going to push back. But if you share the information in a very informal, respectful kind of way, even if they don't receive you in that moment, and we keep saying it, sometimes you're just planting seeds, and the next time they hear or see something about it, they'll listen to it differently, and they might start considering. I mean, we kind of all started that way. We went down. None of us here got clubbed over the head by someone telling us what to think, right? We got here on our own, using our own minds, and we have to leave people the room to do that. And we're not going to convince everybody, and that's okay too.
Well, my friend listening, who sent me the letter this week, said he listens to Fox News, and Fox News said that this is immoral, corrupt, evil, and I believe them. He just wasn't open. He was going to be open in the beginning, and then he just decided, no, this is immoral. I'm not going to get involved in this.
Yep.
It's crazy to call that immoral. I mean, that's a big word.
So go as far as you can. You planted your seed, and maybe he'll see something down the road that'll change his mind. But you did as much as you could, and I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I have an idea for instead of saying 9/11 was an inside job, I would say 9/11 was a false flag. The buildings were the center was pre-rigged for demolition, and the planes did not bring it down. Those were excess military tankers that crashed into the buildings. That's the story I would start to give people myself.
Aye. Thank you, Jack. I do want to, you were triggered to something else I wanted to bring up real quick, if I could do this fast enough. Douglas McGregor, Colonel Douglas McGregor, posted this a few days ago. Breaking: Congress is now attempting to link the U.S. and Israeli military through the National Defense Authorization Act, Section 224. Another account, Diligent Denizen, pretty good guy on X. He swore there, but it says, if the provision in the NDA to integrate, synchronize the U.S. and Israeli militaries, Section 224, makes it out of the committee, I'll offer an amendment to strip it from the bill on the floor. Thomas Massey, still rocking it in his last 7 months. So Congress quietly moves to integrate the U.S. and Israeli militaries, the first step towards shifting aid further into the shadows. The House 2027 NDA would all but fuse the two countries' armed forces together.
Crazy.
Insane.
That's crazy.
Where did the Patriot Act and NDA from 9/11 progress? Here we are. So, yikes. Thank you, Jack. Go to Carl.
What are the exact dates of the event in New York?
10, 11, 12, 13.
That is what?
Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
So events on all 4 days, or registration arrivals on the 10th? But
no, Ian Carroll's supposed to talk on the 10th. And,
really?
And it's also the anniversary of Charlie Kirk's death. So we feel,
So what time will festivities start on the 10th?
Festivities.
Festivities, yeah.
The Thursday program will not start before 6. We're debating if we're going to make it 6 or 7 to 10. We want to give people a chance to, for anybody who's there or working and has to get there or wants to have supper, to not make it too early, but no earlier than 6.
Okay, so the 10th is really an arrival day. If one arrives in the mid-afternoon, you'll be there before anything starts.
If you arrive in the daytime on the 10th, you're totally okay to be there at the beginning in the evening. Yes.
Yeah.
And what's the street address?
I put it in the notes.
Is it 1230 Fifth Avenue?
Yeah, Cynthia asked the question of where it was. It's El Museo del Barrio. Here, I'll just copy and paste this back in again. The address
1230 Fifth Avenue.
I'll paste it in right now. Give me a second.
You know, an alternative idea
There
could
it
be
is.
to stay somewhere in the city close to ground zero. I mean, if one starts searching now, it might be possible to get an Airbnb or something like that, and which could facilitate and go back and forth by subway.
For what it's worth, I mean, and everybody's free to do, you know, what they feel most comfortable to do. We're going to try to get a group discount rate at a hotel. I forget what the name of it is. It's
Marriott.
No, not that one. That one got too expensive.
Oh.
The one on the west side of Central Park. So that venue is close to a street that crosses Central Park, and on the other side, there's a hotel that got a pretty good rate, and we're trying to get a discount rate for groups. If you're talking about ground zero or anywhere south of that event, we called so many hotels and didn't find anything, even now, at under $500 a night. And even group discount rates, they gave us like nothing.
So what are the couple of hotels near the venue? What are the names of them that you're looking at?
It's the night. Oh, I'll find it. It's I'll find it in my emails. I'll let you know. We're still negotiating with them to for the group discount rate, but even just the base rate is already a lot better than any hotel south of that. So
Thank you, Carl. Good
Okay.
question. So for everybody, El Museo del Barrio at 1230 Fifth Avenue, New York, New York. That'll be the 10th, 11th, 12th, and 13th. And I'm going to ask them, like, people that might get there the 9th, if we can find an eatery or a pub that evening for anybody that gets there early, like the day before, maybe we could all meet up there. And definitely something at the end. It's just, we all get together, we see each other, we haven't seen each other. Some people have never met each other. And other people, it's just great to rub elbows again and talk about it afterwards, kind of like a debriefing. So, yeah, we'll keep an eye out for that. We'll keep you updated.
And Carl, it's the Night Hotel Broadway. I don't have the exact address in front of me, but if you type that in and in Google Maps and you look west of Central Park, you should be able to find it.
Right on. Let's go to Mike
Thank you.
Zarzano.
Actually, Gene, just to follow up on that, presuming you don't have any speaker who's going to specifically outline the Berlin perspective on 9/11, I will be pleased to give you a verbatim script of what I would say to be the one advocate for the Berlin perspective as a speaker at the event.
All right. I mean, we've tried to reach out to Christopher Berlin several times.
And his wife. Yeah.
Can't get an answer.
Well, in their absence, someone should speak up for that perspective. You can understand him not wanting to come back to the U.S. It's been 15 years ago. He thoroughly documented everything he needs to say.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Yeah, I mean to chime in, but the last one, Turning the Tide, it was quite heavy on the Berlin perspective, I'd say.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
If you want to call it that, definitely Dennis Kucinich and
Kiriakou. Even
No.
he spoke in general terms, I guess. It was interesting what he focused on.
oh my God, what the hell was his name?
No, nobody spoke in detail about Berlin's, the circumstantial evidence he's assembled. Kucinich spoke in general terms about Zionism in Israel. But we're talking about the upcoming event, not the last event.
Right. Yeah, no, I agree. I don't. Yeah, exactly. I have to weigh how they want to do that, but I agree. It would be nice to have some evidence on suspects.
Yep. Can't think of the guy's name.
He was on
the first night.
I thought he was on day 2. He was the last speaker.
There it is.
There.
Aaron Good.
Yes.
Dr. Aaron Good.
Yes.
Well, Aaron, he has a biased perspective. I've spoken with him. I spoke with him at the event, and he totally does not connect the dots to JFK from JFK to 9/11. He's almost controlled opposition, I would say.
Wow.
No,
all right.
There's always one.
Thank you. Good go to Mike Zarzano. Thanks.
Yes. Are you going to invite David Chandler?
Everybody's invited. Everybody's invited.
He's free to come, obviously.
Yeah.
But there's nothing specific for him that's scheduled to be presented.
Right.
Oh, good. So he will not be presenting.
He's not presenting, no.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, table's open. Anybody else have new 9/11 news, anything, or if you want to share what's something simple that you do as far as activism that anybody could do? Sue?
Yeah, I just wanted to mention that we will not be in New York because we have events planned in Boston for 9/11. We're working on another aerial banner. We're going to
Cool.
have a banner across the Massachusetts Turnpike, and we're going to the State House since it's a Friday and State House people will be there.
Mhm.
So that's what we're planning.
Nice.
Yeah, and a banner, even just that, a banner over a highway.
Yeah, we do
It-
that every year.
But there's thousands of cars
Yep.
that pass under there.
I spent
Yep.
many times on the 31st Street Bridge just with one sign saying question Building 7 and got horns, got fingers, but a lot of people noticed.
Yep. Yep. And I saw a lawn sign here in Worcester today that somebody had uprooted and it was now on the sidewalk. I was driving by on the wrong side of the road, so I couldn't stop and investigate it. But it had 9/11 on there and the towers. So I think it was a 9/11 Truth lawn
Nice.
sign.
Wow.
Nice.
You should have knocked at their door.
Well, I was driving and at a red light and,
No, but I'm saying go back and knock at their door.
yeah. Yeah. Well, actually, it was a public building, the
Oh.
Salisbury House,
Okay,
which
okay.
is a function room. So even more interesting.
So maybe they had an event there, or there was people outside who were voicing their stance on
It was one
an
of
event.
those lawn signs you poke into the grass.
Right. Okay. All right.
So
I'm
it
not
wasn't something that somebody
okay.
would be carrying because
Okay.
it has those spokes that you poke into the grass.
Yeah.
But it looked
Interesting.
like a really good lawn sign. So I've been toying with the idea of designing a lawn sign exactly
Oh,
like
right.
that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Yeah, Gene
But
did a
I'm
bunch
not
of
good at
those.
that
Yeah.
sort of stuff.
How did you do
Yeah.
yours? You collected.
Collected the old election signs, you flip them inside out, and you get a stencil and you just spray paint, and you got hundreds of, they leave them there. So, hey, use them.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. That's great.
You
All right.
reminded me of something else too, Sue, and I thought it was Boston. Mike Chickey took a bunch of pictures when they were holding a banner up. And what was so great about his photos, rest in peace, Mike Chickey, he got pictures of the drivers going by. And I'll put this link to this in the show notes because it was amazing. You could see some of the reactions. Thumbs up. There we go.
Yeah.
Thumbs
Oh,
up.
that's
You get
great.
the middle
Yeah.
finger. I mean, you get everything. So
Yep.
that's just fantastic. That's really great. That should be in a book, I think.
Yeah, I
That's
love
pretty
that.
cool.
Looks like more
Cool.
thumbs than middle fingers there.
Yes.
Well,
More
there's
peace.
another one.
Oh, there we go. You got a
Yeah.
away from the cops. So nice.
That's cool.
Yep. Thank you, Sue.
Yeah. And we're also on the 4th of July for the 250th anniversary. So this might be something that you want to think about. Go to your 250th anniversary for 4th
Yes.
of July. We're going to be at the Esplanade handing out literature.
Nice. I would say for the rookie 9/11 activists that are introverted, that's the next step. Actually putting something in somebody's hand and going up and talking to people, but you can at least
It
stand there
is
and hold a sign.
so much easier if you bring a buddy.
Yes.
You know,
Yes.
really, you no longer feel intimidated when there's at least two of you.
And if I can add to that, ideally one male, one female, because
yeah.
having a female with a male
We learned that.
makes that the couple less intimidating, more than having just two guys walk up to you. And having the guy next to the female, unfortunately, lends her a little bit more weight. Just speaking reality as I see it.
Females tend to approach other females a lot easier than approaching a male.
Yeah. But there's both
And if
energies
you have
there.
a dog, bring
A
your
dog? That's a
dog.
good one.
Even
Yeah.
a dog. And what I'm
Bring your dog.
and if
If
you're
you
not
have a dog.
9/11 Truth Pup. Yeah.
yeah, with a little
Yeah.
I was going to say, if you are not comfortable just walking up to people and giving pamphlets or whatever, just make sure you have them. And if you have your sign, even if you just stand there or you have your T-shirt and someone walks up to you and asks you questions, or asks, well, what's this all about or whatever, then as a response, you can give your whatever you're holding, whatever information you have. So you don't have to take all your courage and walk up to someone. Just wait till they approach you.
One thing one event I went to for the 4th of July, I bought about 500 light sticks and was handing them out with the literature.
Nice.
500 what? Sorry?
Light sticks, the ones you break and they glow.
Oh, yeah.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, actually having a gadget to give away with it is probably a great idea.
Yeah.
Thank you, Sue. Let's go to the other Bostonite. Al, what do you got?
Well, first of all, on that, what you posted, we have that sign, what you don't know about 9/11 is killing people. And that got a really strong reaction from the cars. We have a series of signs, and 9/11 Truth for Peace is the one that gets the most positive response.
Yeah, I love that one.
And but anyway, we have a lot of the big banners, and so we will be using that. The aerial sign, I think, is still really gung-ho about, because it covers the whole city, and we got a good response out of that. I don't know if you guys are planning on doing that or not. But
an aerial banner this year?
Yeah.
No, we haven't thought about it.
Not really. New York was a hassle to do it last time. They delayed it 4 times. So needless to say, we couldn't do it the day we wanted to do it, which was over the stadium, because at the time, Aaron Rodgers was playing his first game as a New York Jet. And that would have been and it fell on September the 11th. I mean, on paper, it couldn't have been more perfect. And then we got nailed with a rainstorm, and they said they can't send out the pilot. So 4 times it was delayed for weather. So we were long gone by the time it flew. We did have New Yorkers who filmed it for us and took pictures, but it would have been nice to have it the day of. So it's iffy, and it's still a lot of money to do. So
I'd like to just interject a question for Al on this banner issue. How did you perceive that there was a positive response to the banner?
Yeah.
How do you know that?
Well, we have people at each bridge, and Chris Gruner had the 9/11 Truth for Peace, and I polled everybody that was on Chestnut Street, on Highland, or whatever the street is that he was on, and they were coming up off the Mass Pike, and he was getting a lot of thank yous. And yeah, there you go, right there, the Center Street Bridge.
That's not the aerial banner. That's
no. I'm
talking about I'm talking about the airplane banner.
And what was the question?
I thought you were saying we got a good response from the airplane.
Well, we were tracking the response online, and the number of people that chimed in about the banner was pretty positive. They had a counting mechanism, and I've forgotten how it works now, but anyway,
okay,
that's where we got the feedback on that.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway, the more eyeballs you get, the better off you're going to be. But I think the aerial, they started in Fitchburg, came down the Charles River and flew over the city. And that was, I don't know how many people ended up seeing it, but it was, I thought it was well worth it. And then we had a professional photographer that took photographs of it. So, and we did a lot of marketing online. There you go. That's one of the guy that did the pictures of it. So I think it's people always give more credibility to something in the way of advertising like that than they would just by handing out literature.
Mm-hmm.
And, so that was
It
my
wasn't
take.
too much either, was it? It was a few $1,000s.
It was a couple of
It was
thousand,
pretty cheap. Yeah, I asked Chris Berger. He was the guy that did the legwork on it. And yeah, I think it ended up at just a little over $2,000.
Nice.
And it was, I think worth the money, definitely.
And if you can't afford an aerial banner, Boston, this was the other 9/11 Truth for Peace sign he has, just printed up on a little billboard. There's Chris Gruner holding it. There's Lawrence Fine holding it. And then they got their vinyl banners for over the bridges.
I
So
sent you the other one in Signal.
oh, you did?
Yeah.
Hang on, Sandra's sending me stuff.
No, because I was going to say you're going to find more pictures under the Boston 9/11 Truth page than under Al's.
I can't get there right now. Oh wait.
No, we don't have pictures up yet. Still working on that.
No, I'm talking about the Facebook page.
Oh, right.
I don't know who handles that one, but
Al handles that one.
Oh yeah.
Okay, 10-4.
Yeah.
Nice. Very good. Thank you.
Well, yeah. I thought you were going to share it.
Oh, you got more?
No, I thought you were going to share it.
I just did.
No, it's not sharing.
You guys aren't seeing a green banner? No. Huh.
No. That's weird.
No, you're stuck on the.
I saw a green banner.
Well, that one's
the freeway.
blue. Well, that's the blue one.
Or blue one.
That's the old one.
Wow,
Oh,
I don't
okay.
know why it's not coming up. Oh, Signal won't let you view. That's why. It's a security thing with Signal.
Really?
Okay, all good.
All right.
Anything else? Al, anything else?
Yeah, I'm good, I think.
All right, thank you, sir. Go back to Carl.
Gene, can you walk back to your walk-in closet and bring out your 9/11 was false flag terrorism T-shirt? Maybe we even want to have that soon replicated. It could be the official T-shirt, even sent out to people in advance of the event. And that would be a great shirt for all of us to wear down at Ground Zero on 9/11 potentially. On a second topic, one thing I'm doing is next weekend will be the 59th reunion of the USS Liberty veterans in Norfolk, Virginia. I'll be joining them, and I've spoken with them, worked with them, tried to facilitate, for example, Ron Johnson holding hearings on false flag terrorism in general to be, with the Liberty survivors being the lead witnesses on false flag terror. So that event, it's not a ticketed event. Anybody who stays or shows up at I believe it's the Sheraton Riverfront. It's a Marriott hotel in Norfolk. Everybody is welcome to just join in the meetings, the speakers, the dinner they have at the last evening together.
And Carl, by the way, you might be interested that Phil Turney is also speaking at the event on the Saturday, most likely on the Saturday.
Well, I've been very encouraged by that. Who facilitated that, if I might ask?
That was Candace.
Very good. Well, I'll be seeing Phil. I brought him to DC to try to confront Ben Shapiro at a Heritage Foundation event. And that event was entirely scripted, so there was no chance for Phil to ask Ben Shapiro a question, which would have been very noteworthy, I think. So that's good news. Thank you.
Thank you. This was the shirt. Mike Arnold was handing these out. I don't know where the original design came from. I know Lou Welsh wears this often. I've seen other people wear them. It's an attention-getting shirt, and yeah, I like it. Thank you. Let's go next. Jack.
Yes, I'm carrying on from what I said about my two friends. One was quite influential, got into the weeds with them for years, and it did zero good. And when we find new people, I think there are people out there. You see, 9/11 was an inside job signs sometimes, and those are little people kind of in the wilderness who realize the truth. So when we'll find a whole lot more possible new people, it would be great if we had a library. I know Boston 9/11 Truth has a little, Hamuk has a library, you have a library, Gene, and Magnus has a library, and if we could make one together. I know it's a huge, big job to have a real library, so we could say, just go to this website, and they can go to that website at night and view a video, and then they can search out, about airplane parts in the grass or whatever their question is on their own, versus me or someone else, sending that video to them, which they won't be open to when they receive it, and it just doesn't work that way. But if there was a library that they could kind of go to when they felt like it, that would be a great thing.
Yep,
I'd be able to contribute a tiny bit to it, but it's a big job that would be worthwhile.
Huge project that we have talked about before, and AE was interested in it. Kelly David, actually, that was the last project they were going to work on before they went dark for a while. It's just, you're talking thousands and thousands of hours, people putting this all together. I know Ted Walter with the International Center for 9/11 Justice said they're going to try to do some of that. That's why they brought back History Commons and are now rehosting basically the bulk of History Commons, the Terror Timeline on their site. Yeah, Hamuk at Truth TV, I think it was. They basically blocked all of his videos. He says, I have them all. Anybody that wants any of the videos that he has listed, he'll get them to you. But yeah, that'd be a great project. It's just an enormous project, like you said. So thank you, Jack.
If the individual people like Hamuk or you or Magnus would actually do some of it's a lot of work. I'm not denying that. Would submit your own videos to this, and these are ones that we think are good, then it would get started anyway. And then once it was started, it could build.
Yep. Thank you, sir.
Or we can wait a couple of years and wait till everybody throws all of their information into AI, and it's going to sort it all neatly into all the proper little, slots and make it all unified.
Yeah. And give us a back massage.
There'll be another 9/11 there. I'm really suspicious about the U.S. Trust Building in L.A. being set up for.
But there's
9/11.
so much speculation out there right now. It's like every couple of weeks, it's like, oh, here it's coming, this is happening, and it's like I you know what? Until it happens, I'll cross that bridge when I get there. There's nothing
Right, but
we can do about it.
we don't have 2 years. That's all I'm saying.
No, I know about that. Yes, I was joking about the AI thing.
Yep.
Okay.
Let's go to Al.
Yeah, I've mentioned this before, but excuse me, with so much of the lying that goes on with the government over Iran and what's going on, how critical all that is, the job of talking about 9/11 has gotten so much easier, in my opinion. I mean, if you go to any of the big sites like Facebook, and people are so open to the idea that everything out there is a lie. And if you start talking about 9/11, it's not out of the realm of possibility for people to accept the 9/11 story. And I find it that we should be doing a lot more posting on the big websites, and it would get us a lot more attention than it ever has. So that's my 2 cents on that one, and I think it would be really beneficial. I noticed that Gene and I are probably the only two left that are still posting on Facebook. I haven't seen one.
There's a lot of these guys here that do. But yeah, that's probably a super easy one too. I mean, social media, we're saying it's being run by bot farms and now, but if you get a chance to post a video or post a meme, post something, make a comment, basically just get out of the echo chambers. If there's like a dog group and somebody brings up, something burned, I can't even think of a good example. Just if there's any way you can make a 9/11 link to it to somebody that doesn't talk about 9/11, you put it in there, it's going to get a lot of attention. And I've done that a lot of times and like just made a loose connection and they're all talking about it. So, yep. Thank you, Al.
Yeah, thank you.
Let's go to Magnus.
Oh, thank you, Gene. I'm asking, can we please watch 2 short videos?
Sure.
Before we're closing?
Yep.
Rudy. Do you see a video called Rudy?
A video called Rudy. Rudy Truck. Here we go.
Yeah, thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oops. I don't know if there's audio with this. Rudy Giuliani is command center. Let me read that. Rudy Giuliani's command center on 9/11 was a truck on the side of the road because he built the real command center in the only place that had been attacked by terrorists in 1993, the World Trade Center.
Just started and then it will be audio.
Police commissioner pointed to an emergency truck that was pulling up to in front of 70 Barclay Street, and he said, that will be our command post. We're attaching hard lines into this building, and we're taking over this building. And they were literally taking people out of 75 Barclay Street and setting up a command post. And I said, is that going to be our main command post? And he said, yes, that'll be our command post. We'll operate out of there. We've evacuated 7 World Trade Center.
Thank you, Gene. And I have a last one reposted.
And the city hall have been evacuated. The mayor is safe. He spoke earlier expressing his anger over the attacks. He says that he was trapped in a building near the World Trade Center for about 20 minutes this morning. We're speculating he was inside the bunker, the Office of Emergency Management's bunker in Building 7 of the World Trade Center complex, which was not directly hit, but that building was hit by debris when the 2 Twin Towers came down. The mayor was evacuated out of there and walked to Greenwich Village and then later spoke to reporters about all of this.
Kind of anger you're talking about, you're right. We've heard that from Mayor Giuliani, certainly from Governor Pataki earlier today on our air.
And President Bush.
President Bush as well. You would.
All right.
Thank you, Jim.
You're welcome. Thank you, Magnus. Let's see where I'm at. Brian.
Yeah, I want to share an activity I did to promote Rethink 9/11.
Okay.
I took the graphics off their website and I created it as a photograph, four photographs. They were the size of a business card. And Walmart, they were very, very inexpensive. And in my town, we have 4 parking garages. And in the elevators, you can stick those photos up and they'll stay.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend tiny business card sized.
Absolutely. I agree with that wholeheartedly too. Thank you so much. Here's you guys. I've shared this many times, so forgive me while I digress again. I got those business cards printed out too. It is really cheap. You can see. I just leave the business card in the slot. And if I get a chance, I'll throw a sticker on too. But the business card you won't get in trouble for. Just leave it there. If anybody needed graphics, I made some graphics. One of them was Sandra's design, and they're all free to download here. And it's great because the orange definitely catches your attention when it's hanging out of something. And you can go where I go. Again, I'm not making any money off. It's sending you to this site, Bargain Basement Printing. They do double-sided glossy cards. Oh, and then I guess he changed his page. I'm going to have to update this. but you can get 500 for, oh, it went up $34, or 1,000, I think is the better deal, for $40. Yeah, just $5 more, you get an extra 500. So $40, you get 1,000 double-sided glossy cards is pretty cheap. So
yeah, could you throw that link just so I don't have to type it into the chat?
yeah, bargainbasementprinting.com. And actually, I'll put the 9/11 War Room one in there with all the other business card there if you don't want to make your own.
There's also the 9/11 quiz.
Oh yeah,
for dummies. It doesn't say for dummies.
Yep, we have flyers up there too, 911warroom.com/flyers.
The idea of a quiz, because so many people think that they know everything there is to know about that day. And well, that's the front and back of it.
Yep, and the inside has some questions.
And really basic questions, and some official story answers, some humorous answers, and then of course the actual answer, which always turns out to be D.
I stood down on the corner at Carnegie Mellon University and just read the questions. All right, everybody, who knows the answer to this one? How often prior to 9/11? And just read and then go, here's the answers. A, every time. It just, you could see a couple people listening, waiting to see what the answer was. So
yeah, and everybody loves a quiz. So, they're going to be happily taking it to prove you that they know everything there is to know, only to find out that they don't. So
if you're interested in this,
the rabbit hole.
Yep. If you're interested in that, 911warroom.com/flyers or 911warroom.com/business cards, and you guys can get any of those, download them for free. Hey.
Yeah, this is double-sided, so that you front, like the front back on one side and the inside on the other side.
Susie.
Hi, everyone. It's funny that you just posted that about the 9/11 quiz, because I was trying to think up some content for some flyers to hand out at the event. Basically, like, what 9/11 questions that are remaining, or burning building questions that are remaining that demand answers. And I was just going to ask everyone on the call if they have a burning question that they think could trigger people, since it seems everyone on social media, the objection to the evidence we have is just the official story, and it doesn't sound like any of them have any questions at all. But if anyone would like to contribute to that, I was thinking about 15 to 20 questions on a two-sided page flyer. If anyone would like to make a recommendation or whatever, if they could put it in the chat, or maybe send you guys an email.
Can you give an example of what you would consider a burning question that...
I got one. Do you think it's possible that our government lies to us about events?
Yeah, well, that's a good start right there, right?
But I thought you meant like more like beyond, like more detailed or more.
Well, like I said, if we do like the burning building, we can talk about the fires and, did you know that there was evidence found that contradicts, the official story, questions like that. Or just
hold on a second. Are you saying questions to people who don't know anything about 9/11, or
like,
that we have of each other or of the government or whatever?
So you're at the event and people are walking down the street and they're like, oh, what's this all about? And you hand out a flyer that just says, the 25th anniversary. I don't know how to title it exactly. I have to work with it. About 9/11 questions that still remain after 25 years. And, it's questions that might trigger people that say, hey, yeah, I didn't know that, or I didn't have the answer to that, or I don't know why. Or maybe they'll say, like, I never even knew that was an issue. It's really just to drum up curiosity.
I think we have 25 people here and you get 25 different answers, because everybody's going to go with what they find most interesting or whatnot. But it'll be interesting. Yeah. Shoot it in the chat if you guys got a suggestion for Susie.
Yeah, I think it's something that maybe some people are quick to think up something, but I think most people are going to probably want to ponder that one for a while, and maybe let you know by email later. I'd have trouble just coming up with like a really good question on the spot like that.
I think that one that I asked was a great introduction because you
Oh,
get them
for
to
sure.
agree, yeah, the government lies to us, and then you further ask questions.
Well, that was like the poll that we had
Yeah.
for the 20th. Yeah.
Yeah, well, just like, did you know, or, you're making a statement asking a question. Did you know that no one has been arrested or prosecuted for 9/11 crimes, or,
all been promoted. They all got higher positions and more pay.
Exactly. But I'm just saying questions that people will take home and ponder. They don't necessarily have to come to the event, but just say, hey, can we take a look at that?
Yeah.
Yeah. At one point, because for a while, I stopped doing it now, but for the 10 days leading up to the 11th, I would do like a series of, so I had like this 9/11 quiz, one question per day running. And then another year I had oddities, like the head scratchers about 9/11, like the things that make you go, like beyond the obvious, like, thermatic material in the dust and stuff, just like these random things. Because I discovered, and I keep saying this also, in my experience, sometimes it's the most random thing that actually gets someone to think and to ask questions. And I'm constantly amazed at what it is that triggered someone to, for the first time, consider that we may have been lied to. And it's not the most spectacular point that you can make. It's sometimes it's just, so after they claimed that they got rid of Obama, they just threw his body into the ocean instead of, That's a friend of mine told me, she goes, really? Well, that's weird. That's how it started. I'm like, what? Like that? Really?
You mean Bin Laden there, Sandra?
I'm sorry?
Did you mean Bin Laden? Did you said Obama?
Did I say Obama?
Whoops.
Well,
Freudian slip.
Not even a Freudian slip, but yes, thank you for the correction.
Also, I was just curious, since it doesn't seem like AE is going to be restarting this petition anytime soon.
I have actually got an update from Xander. He is working diligently on it. The website's being worked on in the background, and they're just waiting to make the release. So stay tuned on that one. Xander's a good guy. Xander,
Awesome then. Awesome news. But I'm wondering if, I know a lot of these organizations like Move On and Change.org, they all have citizen petitions out there to reinvestigate 9/11. Would it be helpful if we had a petition to sign while at the event, rather than just handing out stuff, but actually get people to engage?
Well, unless we're building on the AE petition,
that's probably a great idea.
Strongly discourage us from starting a whole new one, because people are sick and tired of petitions. But if you're building upon one that is already at 3,600 and has a lot of credibility, and there's probably a big backlog, I would guess, that once Xander verifies those, we could maybe be over 4,000. I don't know. But for that,
you said that, we are.
If we could get to that, I don't see why not. I mean, we'd have to coordinate with him to see what information he needs.
That petition is for architects and engineers, though. It's not a general public petition.
Yeah, I don't care.
Yeah, I know. Citizen petition. Yeah, but so what would that consist of? Like a barcode that would be available for people to, download?
We'd have to.
Let's work with Xander, talk to Xander, and think about that. But there is a general public petition for AE, which had like 34,000 people. But
yeah. Well, they still have it somewhere in the back room there. I mean,
we'll talk about that. Good idea. Thank you, Susie.
All right, thank you.
Let's go back to Mike Zorzano.
Hey, my question is really to Craig. 2 meetings ago, when Xander and Kelly were there, I asked Kelly to provide the bylaws, and she said she would. And here it is, almost 2 months later, and we've not received any response. I've emailed her 3 times and no response. Has anybody received any information about that? Craig?
I believe that no one has received neither. Well, I know you haven't, and I don't believe Sandra has. She'll confirm that. And I certainly have not. The three of us, I believe, were the ones writing to the board. And not only did we not get the bylaws, but we didn't even get a response.
Exactly.
Which is troubling.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it is. We have some unfinished business with A&E as far as I'm concerned. Their credibility is wanting. My next question is there anyone going to be presenting or advocating a jetliner hit the Pentagon?
No, the only thing that they're going to be presenting, I mean, I guess they're going to have an updated version of the simulator study, and they will have and I think it's already going to be presented soon, but the supposed phone calls made from the planes and what that research turned up, including Flight 77, again, to see, dispel certain things right off the bat. And in the first case was the idea that anybody could have flown those planes. So that's the only two things that I know of that are kind of like semi-related, but nobody's representing a plane flying into the Pentagon.
Okay, that's good. Thank you.
Think back to Sue.
Is that me?
Yep.
Oh, yeah. So there are three obstacles that I think we need to think about overcoming with promoting 9/11 truth now that almost 25 years has passed. Cynicism is one of them. Yeah, I know it was a lie, but what can we do about it? We're powerless. We can't do anything. Government's not going to do anything, and why should I bother myself with it? So cynicism is one. The other one is relevance. That obstacle has come up. Yeah, well, that was so long ago. How is that relevant to today? And, my answer usually is, well, 9/11 stole your future, particularly to young people. So I think a good poster should be made up about that. And the third one is we're all, not you two, you're still relatively young, but a lot of us are really aging out. And we need more young people active. I was really happy to see that video with the millennials. That was very encouraging. I think but we need them with our groups and out on the street, talking about this and actually doing something. So we need to recruit young people to carry the heavy signs and the platforms and do all the stuff that we old codgers can't do anymore because our knees lock up and stuff. So those are the three things. The cynicism, relevance, and getting the young.
Mm-hmm. You reminded me of something. Ian Carroll just did a little mini show about despair. And, we talk about conspiracies and it leaves people full of doom and despair. And he goes, I'm done with that. It was a challenge. It was on YouTube. It's titled I'm Done with Journalism by Ian Carroll. He talked about Owen Benjamin had been on a podcast and mentioned something about how
name various groups and
how people can get so down on sharing these conspiracies and what are we going to do? The government's just running amok. And I love that quote by what's her name, Margaret Mead, saying
never underestimate
the power of a small group of people to get things accomplished, because that's the only thing that ever
in
happens.
the end. It's the only thing that ever has.
So I think all of us are stalwarts. We've been doing this for a long time. I don't think we're going away. And just, I guess, I'm going to challenge myself to, when I share memes and messages with people, don't be such a downer about it, but try to be positive in that we're fighting for justice, and what we're doing is the good cause and the good fight. And
yeah, that brings up the fourth point we need to keep addressing ourselves about is that positive energy, and keep injecting joy into this.
Mm-hmm.
And that's why it's really important to have others with you. When you're doing this alone, it's hard to maintain the joy of doing the right thing.
It can be heavy.
Yeah.
And we all
Yeah.
get burned out at times, and just take a break and get back in
Yep.
it.
Yeah, but always with joy.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Go back to Carl.
Yes, I just put two images in chat, if you could share them. One is the image of the shirt that you wore with 9/11 was a false flag. And I'm thinking maybe the American flag should be upright, but somehow plastered, superimposed on that image, the Greater Israel Project image conveys the message that it was a false flag in furtherance of the Greater Israel Project.
All right. Thank you, sir. Chuck.
Hey, let me, what about, I mean, I'm sure you've done this already, but mass letter writing campaigns. And I mean, it occurs to me that every congressman and senator, every quarter, should get a letter from, a number of constituents telling them that the Patriot Act was passed under duress and was under a false flag circumstance, and the official narrative is false, and our country's been stolen, something like that. And a demand for justice and accountability. And that could be set up with one of those, I don't know how hard it is to do. You click here, and then you get the text, and then you just fill in your name, blop, it fires up, and then press a button. Because the machine knows your zip code, it can direct easy breezy. And so ongoing media campaign would be, and again, I assume it's already been done, but it's just a thought that seems, even TAP within its website could install a page that would, make available to the community an easy communication method. Would be something I'd be interested in exploring. In closing, and this will be my sign off too. There's a TAP Talk event on Tuesday. We have a historian, Jeremy Kuzmarov, an author, and speaks frankly about deep state crime, so on, and he's writing an essay for Covert Action, I think, that he'll talk about, and it's part of how the 9/11 cover-up occurred. And he's examining a historian who was listed, probably CIA front guy, to write the false narrative and provide it to the 9/11 Commission, or some elements of it. We'll get the lowdown coming up here. But have a great week, everyone. Peace out.
You as well, Chuck. Thank you. And I love the idea of letter writing campaigns. It's definitely been done before, but can happen many, many times. I've got an email harvesting app that I got down off the internet. You can visit colleges, universities, and I went to their physics departments or the chemistry departments and harvested all the emails and send an email off to 50 people at a time at each of these universities. Congress, I've actually sent these cards. It was about nanothermite. I know not we all don't agree on that, but that's fine. But this is what I chose to share. And it took a long time to put 535 stamps on these cards, sending them out. And they probably just went right in the garbage. It cost me a few $100s, but my conscience, I felt like I did the right thing. But any way that you can grab a whole bunch of email addresses and send off a card or a letter or whatever, I think it's a great idea. So thank you, Chuck. But mark that down on the list of pretty easy activism things to do.
And if you specifically want to address someone, not like this 500 in one shot, but if you want to hand target certain people, I would still say instead of emailing them, you're better off writing it, printing it out, getting the mail address and sending it to them, and signing it by hand, whatever. It just makes it more personal. People don't get stuff in the mail anymore except for bills, and they probably get those by email too now, or junk mail. So it's, if there's something of substance that comes through the mail, they have a better chance of looking at it.
Yep. Craig?
Yeah, I just going back to the conference for a second. Did I understand you correctly, Sandra, to say that there will be a presentation on the simulator study again this year at the New York conference? There was one last year.
Yeah.
We're going to
You know
present
what?
the same study again?
No, I don't. It won't be a full, and I could be wrong about that. I think that because last year what they had was very preliminary, right? It wasn't, well, it wasn't the full. They had just done the early stages, and they had just done what happened on the first try, right? But they didn't do the complicated route. They didn't do the extra tries to see what happened and so on. So I don't know. The thing is, what they're going to do is present some kind of a version of a presentation on what they're presented to Ron Johnson, like what they call the PSI thing. And that may be part of it. So I think it's going to be integrated into something or other. But since it's one of the newer researches that has been done, I don't think that they're just going to completely ignore it. I think there's going to be room for it somewhere, and it might be part of a larger whole. It might not be like last year where it'll be just 20 minutes on that, but I can't imagine that they wouldn't bring it up.
Right. It does seem like it's getting a lot of bandwidth, like over 2 full years. It's like the main thing happening in the truth movement, it seems like.
Is there much else happening?
Well, I
Is
don't
anybody
know.
else
I mean,
doing research, coming up with new analyses?
Does it have to be, how important is it that it be new research? It's new to the people that we're trying to reach,
Well,
right?
You're right.
It's also raising the attention of alternative media. So now Benn Swann's covering it, Redacted's covering it. So anything,
whatever resonates,
Yeah.
man. It's like and
yeah.
we're gonna cover older stuff too, but I mean, it's 4 days. There's a lot of slots.
So that's my question is, what, as far as what you know so far, what other evidence is going to be? I know there are, Jimmy Dore and people like that, but what other actual presentations?
We haven't even crossed that bridge yet.
Yeah.
We're so focused on, because that's just a matter of like fine tuning it basically, but just getting the people in is just taking so much work.
Yeah.
In terms of correspondence,
so you get the actual speakers, and you don't know exactly on who's speaking on what day they're going to go in, and then starting to formulate what's going to be discussed.
Yeah, and balance it a little bit, because you don't want 2 people talking on the same thing. So if one person can talk about different things, well, it's like, okay, well, this person's got that subject. Can you take this?
Yeah. Yep.
I mean, Ian Carroll could speak about 9/11. He could talk about Charlie Kirk. He could talk about the Vegas shooting. There's a lot of things that he could talk about, but under the circumstances, it's going to be Charlie Kirk related. So we're not going to have a second person talking about that. So it's just going to be as you're just shaping it as you go, and whatever evidence is going to be presented.
If you guys don't mind, I got to get through these hands. We're at 12 till 7.
Yeah.
You good, Craig?
Yeah, I guess. I mean, I have concerns about this simulation thing in terms of it seems to be reinforcing the Pentagon official flight path. And that seems to be getting brushed off by some people, including the people I think that did the study. They're kind of minimizing that, and it's a concern of mine. I mean, it's I understand it challenges the idea that the original hijackers flew the planes on those routes. But when it comes to the Pentagon, it seems to be reinforcing the idea that the official flight path was used, which essentially lets the government off the hook.
Right. I don't think they're stopping there.
Staging.
Yeah. I highly doubt they're stopping there.
Who's stopping there? What do you mean?
Well, the people who are working on those doing the research. This was step one. This was step one to rule out the possibility of any hijackers having been able to fly according to the official flight path.
Right. But
That's
nobody.
the first step. That's the first step.
You're telling me that there's likely to be other steps where the flight path will be questioned?
I'm saying that would be the logical next step.
Yeah. It's one of those, I'll believe it when I see it.
Yeah, I know.
Fair enough.
I mean, it would be a reversal over the last 20 years of 9/11 history if that happened. So
For sure. Well, the
bottom
is getting
I'm highly skeptical that
the idea is to get to the bottom of the truth. So,
well,
Thank you, Craig.
it certainly is. It certainly is.
My condolences for the Habs.
yeah.
Yeah, sorry about that.
I said after the second to last game to a friend asked me, and I said they're toast. I can tell they look exhausted. They're done. So
they got beat.
That was a great one.
Next year.
Thank you, sir. I want to get through these hands, and then we'll go around the table. We're 10 till 7. Go ahead, Mike Zarzano.
Yeah, Bob Grenier has recently analyzed dust, a substantial amount of 9/11 dust that was given to Patty Casaza, and he has found the materials that would be expected in it: the iron, aluminum, asbestos fiber. And I was wondering, would there be any chance he could present this at the event on September 11th?
He has been invited to Mick's call, and he didn't even get to his evidence, he said, which Mick invited him for, I think it was another hour and a half, which I don't know when that was going to happen. I think it may even be this coming Saturday.
It was supposed to be yesterday.
So from there, I think Mick was going to then analyze and give his honest opinion objectively on what
it's worth.
Yeah, and we'll go from there.
Mm-hmm. Well, that's good. At least it's being considered. It is substantial evidence that has recently been produced. And I'm just concerned, like Craig, about the Pentagon. The evidence for the Pentagon is what is missing, what is not there. And, in the early days, it was agreed upon unanimously by almost everyone that a jetliner did not hit the Pentagon. It was obvious. Many people said it. Witnesses that were there said they saw no plane in the building. This seems to me to be the easy path. And when you start talking about, a simulation machine and flight paths, you start getting convoluted and people get confused. But when you talk about and show pictures for the first 45 minutes of what happened, it's pretty convincing and self-evident that no jetliner landed in the Pentagon. I just find it to be a gross mistake that for all these years we have the establishment truth movement has avoided this topic. Is there going to be anybody presenting the fact that no plane evidence was found at the Pentagon inside the building for a 757, 80 tons? Is anybody going to be talking about that?
Do you want someone to make a presentation out of the fact that no plane parts were found?
No, that's not what I said. No 757 jetliner landed in the Pentagon. That was self-evident in the early days of 9/11. I mean, everybody agreed on that. I just find it very suspicious and strange that now here, almost 25 years later, that's being ignored almost, avoided. And you even just asked the question, what did I mean? And I don't understand why you would have to ask the question. Don't you understand that there was no jetliner found in the Pentagon? And I mean, do you disagree with that?
Do I disagree with that? Have you heard me stutter over the last freaking 12 years. No, I was always on board. No plane having hit the Pentagon. I've
Okay,
been
but
vocal
it's not about
it.
it's not about you,
Okay,
Sandra. I'm not
right.
talking about you.
Well, it
Calm
sounded like you were
down,
asking me.
relax.
You asked Sandra.
No,
You asked
no,
me
no,
if I
no.
misunderstood.
Well, there's some kind of misunderstanding because I don't know why you had to ask me the question again. It's pretty obvious what I'm talking about. No jetliner was found in the Pentagon. Is anybody going to be presenting that topic?
So that topic was presented last year. Xander did a whole presentation on it, on all the
I'm
science that
talking
he...
about this year. This year.
Right. Well, this year there's precious little to add to everything that Xander already dug up, which was a ton of stuff and great information. There is no additional information because you're dealing with an absence of evidence and an absence of all kinds of, video footage and whatever. There's a lot of absence. And so the strongest case you can make is with the kind of work that Xander did. So right now, unless someone else has been working in the background, coming up with other calculations and other information, no, there's nothing else to add.
Oh, but I'm sure there's going to be information produced and repeated about the structural collapse and the architects and engineers. Will that be most likely included?
About the structural collapse of the towers?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's still up for debate.
Like it has been every year.
At all.
All right, thanks, Mike. Let's go to Al. Al, anything for the group?
Yeah, Susan, Sandra, I mean, you put out a lot of times, I've forgotten who the author of the email is, but
Albert.
What is it?
It's Albert Lucientes.
Yeah, why 9/11 still matters. And I think that summarizes everything, and it should be included somewhere as a lead to any letter or anything that we put out.
It's a powerful.
It takes away a lot of the objections, and I always, when I read it, I think, oh, why didn't I think of that, or I didn't think of this.
Well, it covers everything. Say really.
It covers everything. Yeah, and there you go.
Yeah, and it's very factual, very neutral, very non-aggressive. Like it's not. Yeah.
So for a newbie or anybody that you're approaching, I think that's a great. Is that in your War Room archives?
No.
If you go to Sandra's Facebook page every 11th of the month, so if you scroll until you get to one of the 11th, she reposts it every month.
Oh, okay. I'll look for it there because I'd like to print that up.
Yeah, well, just copy the text and save it onto like a Word document or something, and
here, I'll post it in the chat.
So, and I want to thank you for having this meeting more oriented towards street action. I don't think we've talked about as much as we did this week, and I'd like to see more of it. So thank you for doing that.
Yeah, the weather's getting nicer. I just got a new home up in Ford City, so I'm like 50 minutes away from Pittsburgh. So I got away from the street activism, and I do want to get back into it because, like I said, the weather's getting warmer, and this is our time for that.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Good
Al.
deal. Okay, thank you. And that'll be a wrap up for my final hand.
Thank you. If I can remember.
All right. Thank you.
Do you want to say something? Okay. Sue?
Yeah. Chuck brought up a great idea with the letters, and it reminded me of a letter writing campaign that is ongoing right now with America Promise, which is the group that's combating the Citizens United. They have letters to the editor, and they have a tutorial on how to write the letters. And you sign up, so you're committed to writing the letters. It's really a great way to organize letters to the letters to the editor. So if a group want to take that on, organizing, getting commitments from people, and conducting a little webinar on how to write letters. It's great. Yeah, you've got it up there.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's a great way to organize letters to the editor. So if we could find a group that has a broad reach and can get people signed up and committed to writing a letter to their editor for 9/11, I think that would be awesome.
Hey, can you put that link into the chat, please, that you just shared on that tutorial?
Will do.
Is this in general, or is this for newspapers? Like, is this editorial, like letters? Do they have that on the website too, or is this only for what would appear in the print version of a newspaper? Do you know?
Well, almost all papers have both print and online.
Okay.
So your letter to the editor goes to both.
Gotcha.
It depends on the paper you decide to choose.
Yeah. And it's definitely, I mean, I don't know what the trend is, but I noticed that in the local people that I read, there's this repetition of people who are writing letters to the editor. And I can't help but feel like the newspapers are not getting a lot of those anymore. That's why they keep falling back to the same people, because it's not particularly interesting what they have to say. So I guess that's all they're getting, and they don't have a lot of choice to pick from. So that could definitely be a great idea, because if nobody's writing, they have a better chance that they'll pick your letter.
That's right. And for my paper in Worcester, now I'll remind you that Worcester is the second largest city in all of New England. So it's big. It's the Worcester Telegram and Gazette. If they print your letter, they will not print your letter again, another letter from you, for 90 days.
Oh, wow.
So you do get a variety of people.
Wow.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, Sue. We got Ross, Susie, and Carl, and we're going around the room.
Okay.
Sorry.
Good to see everybody tonight.
Oh, go ahead, Ross.
And yeah, so I want to just quickly address the idea of what we need to do to get people motivated, the public motivated. And of course, it's what's been done already, which is the advertising approach of irrational desires. So young people are going to be on board once we give them something positive to look at. Like Susan was saying, we've got to be happy about it. The way to be happy about it is to take advantage of the opportunities that 9/11 presents as a watershed moment in history for reform of humanity. And so that's a very exciting thing. And I've detailed that. And I want to get to a specific point. One of the things, of course, obviously, rebuilding the towers is paramount. But there's many, many issues that we need to deal with that 9/11 can address with the public and the young people in general. And one of the ones specifically that I've encountered this week in my activism, which is I think what a lot of us have encountered, is this online AI, desculpa, I'm speaking Portuguese too, online AI identity verifications that I think a lot of us may have had to go through recently in our lives, and that are very, very traumatic. Actually, they're so erroneous and duplicitous. There's a lot of problems with the AI verifications, live verifications. So that's one reform. We need to eliminate that for now. It's not ready, if it ever will be. But they're using AI in that sense right now to do these live identity verifications. That's something that has to be stopped. And that's one thing that 9/11 Truth can do. So I'll say that, and then to end, I'll say, the dust studies. Yeah, we want to get that dust study information out there. I hope Mick's going to have that call with Niels Harrit and Stephen Jones. And one of the main things about the dust studies, it's never mentioned because people didn't really actually have the dust, as I did, is the smell of it. And, you know, a lot of these people that think directed energy weapons that didn't create heat, I'm not saying there weren't directed energy weapons of a sort, but they certainly did create a lot of heat, because one of the main things that of the components of the dust was that it smelled like burnt hair, a lot of burnt hair. So that has to be thought about, what the dust smelled like. And okay, so I'll be going around. I won't go around the room. I'll be signing off. Have a good week, everybody.
You too, Russ. And I wish I had remembered this, but Mark Crispin Miller just had a little video out a little bit ago talking about how he smelled it, and it smelled like an electronic smell. And I see Jerry put that in the chat. Thermite smells like burning electrics. Mark Crispin Miller said that too. I don't know how close that is to burnt hair. I can't imagine the smell, but yeah. Thank you, Ross.
Well, yeah, it's a very complex smell. There were that smell of burnt electronics, a lot of the acrid chemical smells as well.
Yeah.
Some chemical smells, that burning chemicals. But the hair smell is, of course, distinct.
Yeah.
And that was very, very present for months.
Thank you. Susie?
Yes, thinking back in 2017, I had a coalition here in Colorado to help remove Wi-Fi boosters and 5G towers from schools and firehouses because of the complaints of some side effects that they were inducing. And we went to firehouses. So I really commend Magnus on what he's doing in approaching the firehouses. However, I never thought about that for 9/11, and I was just wondering, since I can't afford like 25 copies of Bravo 7 right now, is there a compilation, like a short compilation, video compilation out there of just firemen, like, maybe Pfeiffer or Joy or anyone out there that were talking about the explosions on 9/11 and what they thought, and bombs and stuff like that, that I could present to these firehouses when I visit them?
What Sandra and I did last year, we were behind the 9/11 Legacy document. It was called the Walden document, even though no one wanted to call it the Walden document. It somehow became called that. And we took that document, and I took these business cards. One was calling out Bravo 7, which is written by firefighter Paul Cayley of the UK. Eric Lawyer, a bunch of firefighters have appearances in this, and it's about Building 7, published by firefighters for firefighters. And we just gave that information out, I think, probably to almost a dozen firehouses around our local area. And it didn't cost much to, have one of these pamphlets or print it out and then put a business card with it. And we didn't have any negative responses, and they took our information. We didn't get any follow-up conversations, but it was an effort to plant a seed. So
the thing is that it has, so the beauty of this is that it has the QR code. So if they scan the code, it'll go directly to the movie, and that's all you have to give out.
Yep. Which is at the bottom of the page, by the way.
Can you put that link in?
Yep.
Or is that what's on Firefighters for 9/11 Truth page already?
It's already there, yes.
The movie is there, but if you're thinking about getting the cards with the QR code, then you have to go here.
Yeah, go to 911legacy.org, and again, you can download these proofs, and then it sends you again to that site I shared you earlier. For $40, you could get 1,000 cards if you wanted. Bargainbasementprinting.com, print them off double-sided, and people scan the QR code, and it takes them right to at the bottom of the page. They can watch the video, either the first video, and then Paul put out a second video, which gets really, I know Chuck really appreciated it. They get into the news cycles, and it's almost 3 hours long.
Yeah, that's less firefighter.
Yeah, this was more how would you say it? All the news that happened around it, and where they were pushing us as far as the propaganda.
Okay, but there's really nothing in a small, like short term thing that they can look at with compilations. I was asking Magnus because he's always into the videos, if maybe he had one.
Oh yeah, I have this one in my YouTube list.
Okay, but you're talking about a compilation of only firefighters talking
Yes.
about the explosions, is that it?
Yeah, and like I've seen quite a few videos, and I'm not technically savvy enough to like download them and edit them and put them together. I'm not, I really I'm really foreign when it comes to stuff like that. But I was wondering if there was something that was already like that, and not a piece of a large video that I have to cut it and edit it. And, just of first responders, some of the people that were brought to the emergency room.
You made a series of those. Well, and it's not necessarily firefighter.
I can't really think of something off the top of my head, but if you go to 911firefighters.org and click on their resources, technical videos, and they have like cutter charges and WTC1, the North Tower exploding. They have a lot of good videos on there.
Okay.
But as far as one that's just on explosions, I don't think anybody has.
You compiled a bunch of them, with all
the explosions.
Yeah. Those were great. And they had firefighters, and it wasn't just firefighters, it was just all witness testimony.
I'll try to dig that
that's
up.
what I was looking for. But and they're in that compilation is in several different videos or in portions or in whole. But I just
Gene
don't know how
put it all together into one at one point.
Yeah.
Well, I'm not saying all that exists, but all the ones that he could find that he thought were relevant. The Captain Ravulo and the two firefighters, sitting on, right by the building and coughing, talking to their CB radios and stuff. And that. Okay. That one. Exactly.
Yeah.
So how long is that one? 1:48.
Here.
But you have other ones that are longer.
I'll send you. This is one that I made to the beginning of it.
Fire. Bang, 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 bang. So it was like boom, 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 like that.
And then it sounded like firecrackers. Crack, 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 crack. And we looked up, and the second tower was coming down.
Because once the tower fell, you heard boom, 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 boom.
And we heard this boom, boom, boom.
And then you heard from far away, boom, boom.
And you heard the boom, 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 boom.
Floor by floor instead of popping out. It was if they had detonated.
So yeah, I put about 1:48 all these together.
Yeah.
I'll put this link in the chat right now, and I'll share it in the show notes at the end.
Isn't that exactly what you're looking for, Susie?
Yeah, just something short that they can see.
Yeah, it's 1:48.
That isn't going to take 3 hours of their time, just
No.
to,
That might
pique
be
their
perfect.
interest.
Yeah.
And I could certainly print out that other information on there. Yeah. So, I mean, some of these guys we've seen afterwards, as well as, with the 5G issue. So they're pretty friendly and outgoing.
Yep.
So maybe I'll just hit back that square.
Yeah, definitely. But this one's under 2 minutes, so that's definitely not too long. And if you have to show them one video at all, you show them the collapse of World Trade Center 7 and ask them if that can happen from fire.
Also, I did want to ask you, what's the consensus on Joya and his testimony in the movement?
It was great.
No objections? Why?
Yeah.
Okay, so they're not saying like he set this all up or something afterwards, or
they're not saying what?
They're not. Well, I know a lot of the complaints about the testimonies that the fire commissioners and stuff gave after 9/11 were some months after 9/11. They weren't really live videos, of what's his name? The chief commander that apparently Larry Silverstein spoke to, which he didn't speak to any commander that day, apparently. But they gave testimonies much later. So it seemed like in the movement, people were saying, yeah, well, they were told what to say, to conform to the official story. So I was just wondering how people felt about Commissioner Jordan. Jordan.
Well, he it didn't go well for him. He
Right.
he lost his job over it, basically.
Right.
He lost his position, and it backfired on him spectacularly. His kids were being harassed, his wife was being harassed. So yeah, he kind of shut that door behind. I mean, he's still involved, through the back door, but it really came back to bite him to take the position that he did. Yeah.
How's his credibility with firemen is what I guess I'm asking. Like, is this something that you want to bring up when you're approaching firehouses and firemen?
Well, they won't know who he is, but it's definitely powerful, I think, to say that these are the firefighters who stand by it. And you can count Captain Roland Gulo. I don't know if he's still on. Yeah, he's still there. He's
Yep.
One of the biggest voices you'll have. And even someone like Glenn Corbett, and I don't know what his exact title is, while not being fully supportive of 9/11 Truth per se, does strongly encourage us to continue investigating this, because he feels like NIST did a cover-up job of whatever they presented. So there are a lot of credible voices out there, and I would name them all.
Okay. Well, thanks so much for your help. I appreciate it, and your information.
Yeah.
Thanks, Susie. Carl?
Yes, can you just confirm which day is Phil Turney scheduled to speak? And which Candace was the referral to you? Not Candace Owens. Was it the Candace from Maryland?
Is she from
Candace Clough?
Candace Clough, and she lives in,
Right.
Is that Maryland?
Yeah.
She was at the conference there.
301.
Yep.
Yeah.
And how about, is Dennis Kucinich confirmed to speak again?
He's not confirmed. He's been asked.
Okay. Thank you.
Thanks, Carl. Sue, and we're going around the room.
Oh, which day is Phil Turney speaking though?
Tentatively for the Sunday.
Okay,
But again, depending on people's schedules and who can do what on what days and availabilities, that could definitely
might get
change.
mixed around. Yeah. Cool. Sue?
Yeah. Talking about visiting fire stations and firefighters, it reminded me of the bike ride that Pamela Senzi and somebody else did from the state of Washington to DC. And
Yeah.
no, it was another woman.
Yes.
I don't remember her name.
Oh my God.
Pamela Senzi. I don't remember. Anyway, so that was kind of a historic thing, and that I just wanted to bring into the forefront. They bicycled all the way across the country.
That was Renee Patty.
Renee Patty. I was thinking Patty is the first name.
Renee Patty?
Yes,
Patty
it was
Renee.
Renee Patty. Right. They did a book about it. Just a little short book. I don't remember the name of the book. Yeah. So that was a historic ride. And not for anything that any relevance I can think of, but it just, that was an enormous effort that we should remember.
Oh, it's Rena Patty.
Rena.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
But she's a major donor of from what I understand, right, Richard?
10 years ago.
All right. Actually, I was trying to bring it up fast enough. There it is. I got it. Took a while. There she is. Rena Patty begins her tour from Orcas Island to Ground Zero Manhattan to raise public consciousness about questions raised by architects and engineers in the collapse of the World Trade Center towers on September 11th. Back in 2012.
Yeah, it was a long time ago. Wow, tremendous effort.
Then the site can't be reached. So the last quiz before you go around the room, once a site's broken, your 9/11 truth, and you're like, well, I still want to get to this data. Where do we go?
Where do we go? Wait, let's see if somebody knows. Raise your hand if you know.
Yell it out.
Yeah, archive.
Archive.org, yes.
Yes.
Archive.org, otherwise known as the Wayback Machine. We'll just plop in that URL to see if it captured her bike ride. There it is, 2012. We'll look for a little blue dot to say it crawled the site. Click on that, and it should bring up that old website. Drum roll. I need that sound. I don't have
You
that.
need a drum roll.
I need a drum roll. Journey for Truth. There it is. Rena's blog. So it's all in there. Pretty cool. All right. I'll have to check it out. There it is. Her entire website is available for searching, and good for her. Thank you, Sue. Anything for the group? We'll start us off. Wrapping up.
Yeah, damn bunnies ate my garden.
Marigolds, I heard.
No, they ate my carrots, my spinach, my broccoli,
Oh boy.
and my peas.
I heard you're supposed to plant marigolds or ghost peppers around your stuff, and that'll deter them. But anyway.
Yeah, well, I put a cage around them, but
All right,
it's
that'll work.
too late. I put the cage around after they ate them.
Oh.
So if you're gardening, put a cage around so you don't cry.
Thank you, Sue. Just a reminder for everyone, this Thursday, 6:30 p.m., Richard Krushnick will be presenting, or their guest. So check it out. If you need an invite, go to Sue or email Sue Serpa, SUESERPA @gmail.com. Thanks, Sue.
Thank you.
JB, anything for the group?
Yeah, I just want to applaud Captain Raul and the firefighters for 9/11 Truth for all the forward steps to help us all better stand up, ask questions, and demand answers. Raul, are there any special filings and/or promotions going on that we could help with? Thank you.
Raul, I don't know if you're there. He's muted. I'll try asking him to unmute. I don't think he... Oh, there he is.
I'm here.
Howdy.
I'm here just listening.
Yep.
No, nothing new right now. I'm writing right now, really going after Tower 1 and 2. Chris Joya has excellent credentials. I don't think that people are dismissing him. I'm certainly not. And that's about it. I just got to keep writing. That's what we're doing right now, is writing. So I appreciate everybody's comments. Everybody's comment, I appreciate it. So,
Thank you, Al.
yeah.
Thank you, sir.
I don't have anything to add besides that.
Thank you. Anything else, JB?
I'm good. Thank you.
Thank you. Craig Close. Anything for the group, sir?
Generally just listening in, but inside job does apply, I think. Not completely. But Cheney and Rumsfeld, they were kind of important for this whole thing.
Yep.
And sorry, a plane hit the Pentagon. I know a fellow going to work, he saw it fly in front of him. And talk about Shanksville, because that's what I don't understand.
Yep. No,
Craig?
Pentagon's not contentious at all.
Craig, could you put us in touch with him? There's a lot of people, including Craig McKee, that would probably like to talk to him.
I don't know where he is now.
Okay. Thanks.
Thank you, Craig. Sweet Jane in Boston. Anything for the group?
Well, this is a very small matter which may now be moot, but I just wondered, I didn't think that I was the only one that missed an email from Mick about his canceling this yesterday's meeting. I apparently was not on his to his credit, his non-BCC email list, but I just wondered if anybody had any input on that and if other people had the same, problem.
I think it's a list. It's a list that started off very organically.
Yeah.
Where he just let the people know that he thought would be interested in such a call. And as the call progressed and grew bigger, people would ask him to add them to the list.
Okay.
So it's not an organized, it's really just this random list of people who either asked him to add them or, I've written to him, can you add so-and-so? Because they asked me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not.
So the email did say, sorry, you didn't get it, Jane, but it's due to my non-9/11 cases, litigations demands, I will not be holding a call tomorrow, which was yesterday. I propose to schedule the completion of Bob Greenyer's presentation up to an hour and a half for June 6th.
Yeah,
and Richard Gage's.
Sue Serpa,
Oh, she got it to you.
she forwarded me his email canceling that and all of that. Thank you.
Yep. Let me just, for the benefit of everybody else, real quick, let me just finish this. So Bob Greenyer the 6th and Richard Gage presentation on the 13th, up to 2 hours. Others may propose other presentation topics for later calls. Please notify others who you think may wish to attend. I do not have all prior attendees' emails handy, so we'll get you looped in there.
Clarification, Gene.
Yes.
That presentation by me on June 13th is a refutation of the DEW hypothesis.
Aye. 10-4. So the next 2 weekends, we're going due. Right on.
Do the do.
Some people might not like this, but I came up with a new meme. Forgive me. I probably shouldn't even say it, but do is the LGBTQ of the 9/11 truth movement. Do what you will. I don't know. Anyway. All right. Thank you, Jane. Let's go to Brian. Anything for the group? If you're there, Bri, you got the camera covered. He might have stepped away. I'll come back to you if I see you. Jack, anything for the group? We'll go to Craig. Anything for the group?
Well, I just wanted to mention to Sandra that Xander was not the only person who presented.
Yes, you're right.
One might get the wrong impression listening because you're so
I'm so sorry,
fan of Xander
I
that one would think he was the only one there. I say that half tongue in cheek, but
no, but you're absolutely
serious.
right to call me out on that. Mike had me a little frazzled there, and I didn't react well.
Right.
Because, anyways, so yes, absolutely, you had presented, and Barbara had presented. I guess the reason Xander came to mind was because not everything, but a lot of what he put out there was the first time ever that people got to see it on that kind of a scale. But you're absolutely right.
Got to see what on that kind of a scale? Got to see
the information that he was presenting, the research he did, the calculations, the detail of all of that stuff. You and Barb had, in many different kinds of ways, in different arenas and forums, had presented this evidence, and you stitched it all together, and you did present it that day in Washington, and you both did a great job. And I'm sorry that I got hijacked.
I forgive you. I did want to just comment a little bit on this notion of like new evidence versus old evidence. And my issue with this is that, we're trying to reach out to the world. It's not about what's new to us at, the choir. I mean, something that's new to the choir might be all, exciting for us to see because we haven't seen it before. But we're trying to reach out beyond the choir.
100%.
And so, repetition is often the way that you finally get through to people. And I'm sure, Richard's here, and I'm sure he would agree with, he's done how many presentations over the years, 1,000 or something. So he would, I think, agree that, saying things more than once is never a problem.
Yeah.
And I feel the same way about this evidence, the Pentagon, and even Shanksville.
Mm-hmm.
So I wasn't really expecting this stuff to be presented at this conference anyway.
Yeah.
But it's just the principle. I want to just make the case. The principle is it doesn't matter whether it's new or old. It's a question of is it something that is going to break through with people that are new to the information?
We touched on exactly that, Richard. If you also want to chime in on that, last Thursday, we have a call every Thursday, and that was kind of the question, because in a way, obviously, most people in the room will have heard this information many times, and that's the counter argument. If you're streaming it, you're reaching a whole bunch of new people. Even in the audience, there's people who haven't heard it really. So you do want to go back to the basics and cover the most essential parts of what there is to know, which obviously Richard's the best qualified to present that. So I don't know if you want to add anything else to that, Richard.
No, except last year we presented 3 or 4 different perspectives on the Pentagon, and there's a significant number of people in the 9/11 Truth Movement, as everybody here knows, that including people on this call, that are convinced that a big plane did hit the Pentagon. So the majority of people on this call and in the 9/11 Truth Movement believe that a Pentagon didn't hit the plane, didn't hit the building. A significant number of people in the audience last year were convinced by each of the presenters. So this is not a clean position taken by the 9/11 Truth Movement, although there is a majority position. But that majority that believes that a plane hit the Pentagon is actually subdivided into those who believe Barbara's version, which is different, and that the plane didn't even hit the Pentagon in that case, and the majority position that a plane did hit the Pentagon. Why am I saying all this? I'm trying to back Sandra up into a position, her position that we don't want to do that show again, and because we did it last year. It's the Pentagon show. Nor do we want to focus on one out of 4, actually, positions about it, because even though that position represents a majority in the 9/11 Truth Movement. Anyway, I'm opening up. I didn't mean to, but that may open up a discussion. But that's my initial reaction to that issue. You asked, Sandra.
I would like to comment on that.
Go ahead, Craig.
Yeah. First of all, that show, I think the show that has been going on for 20 years in the Truth Movement is an effort to obscure the truth by a minority in the Truth Movement, who have motives that I can only imagine what they are. And so this idea that this is somehow more unresolved than any other aspect of 9/11. I mean, there's people that you're going to be debating shortly. There's people that think no planes hit the towers, but that doesn't stop the Truth Movement from having a consensus around the thing that's most likely to resonate with the outside world. And I would argue the same thing is true of the Pentagon. And the fact that there's this small group that has screwed things up so badly for the Truth Movement, and the people who have allowed that to happen, some of those are on this call too, that's a problem. And it's not, to me, it's not a show, and it's not 4 points of view. First of all, 3 of the 4 don't believe a plane hit the building, and that's significant. And the fourth point of view, in my opinion, never should even have been at that conference, because it's basically official story. So we've swallowed this, in my opinion, we've swallowed this lie that this is somehow a controversial, contentious thing, and and we want to sort of distance ourselves from it as much as possible. I think this is one of the most important things in the history of 9/11, and we're making a huge mistake if we allow this to get marginalized by a very small but visible group. So there's my rant.
Thank you, Craig. Mike Figa.
Yeah, I'll try to make it quick. I see Richard's back, so I did have a plea to try to get in touch with Benn Swann, so I'll reiterate that if anyone can get to him. I definitely have an email that can be forwarded to him. And then Richard wasn't here. I'll bring up the billboard again. I'm happy to manage the logistics. I think it would be a good thing to raise money and fill out the venue and all that stuff.
And what billboard is that?
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you missed it. So yeah, I'm just suggesting that we do a New York City static billboard. Because we have Ian Carroll and Jimmy Dore, I'm almost sure they could raise the money once we propose it. I can propose it. Basically, we try to get pre-approval. We can internally decide what that is, something kind of IC 9/11, rethinky, whatever, right? And then
wait, are you
get their
talking
buy-in.
about promotion for the event or what?
Yeah, so we have a billboard in New York City, right? And then also it probably could get oversubscribed. So it was my guess. I mean, if Ian Carroll talks about it and he pleads people to give $5 or $10, my assumption is we'll pay it off and then some. And
That's
then sorry?
That's a great idea.
Yeah. Yeah, and I know you're all tapped out, so I'm happy to help you propose it and manage it. I think we want to get pre-approval, and then obviously shop it around with Ian Carroll and Jimmy Dore. But the two of them will make it work, I'm sure.
Pre-approval from who?
Oh, pre-approval with Jimmy Dore and Ian. Just say, if we're aligned, we'll talk with Ted, right? If we say we want to do this, propose it, and speak with them first, because they'll be part of it. You know what I mean? It'll help get them a nicer hotel, or I don't know what, give them a better speaker fee. I don't know. But I think it would fill out the venue, and it would, depending on what we do. I mean, it could be really simple. The truth about 9/11 ends these wars. Like something stupid, simple. But yeah, I guess it would give them something to cover, because they ignored us last time. Time Magazine covered us. Sorry, I went through this earlier, but Richard, I pointed out how we got Benn Swann and RT to cover us. So I think we would get coverage at this point, 25th anniversary with a conference. It's like a double. It's pretty good. So that's it. I also put a thing in the chat. If anyone wants to help me, I'm launching something. Do not connect my name to this project. It's been worked on for over a year and a half, but feel free to reach out. Literally, I just need feedback. There might be typos and stuff. It's a little big. So that's it. Thank you. Sorry.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.
Richard, anything for the group?
We've got section 3 of episode 6 ready for our reviewers today. And then there's just another 10 minutes after that, which is section 4. So that's foreknowledge of the collapse coming to our reviewers tonight. And I keep saying 2 weeks, 2 weeks, 2 weeks. It just seems like it's only 2 weeks worth of work. But with the back and forth, and the Steph being quite tied up on other things, we'll be lucky to get it done in 2 weeks.
All good. For those that haven't seen it, everyone should be aware. Magnus plugs it every week. 911c2c.org. You can see episodes 1 to 5 there. Episode 6 are coming out sometime after 2 weeks.
It sounds like Trump promising the end of the Iran war.
Right.
Yeah, right.
2 weeks to flatten the curve. Yeah.
2 weeks to flatten the curve.
I also wanted to throw out somebody that comments. I don't know who they are. Maybe you guys know who they are. The name is Lex Muziek. It seems to be from the Netherlands. Send me all kind of comments all the time. And one they evidently, Richard resonated with them and reshared Richard's over at Delft college and his whole presentation there.
Has the
And
answer to
I'm
the
rewatching it just because that's what I like to do. But good job there, Richard. And it's just great. These presentations, like you say, he's done 1,000 of them now all over the world. And just thank you, Richard, for continuing to do that. And it costs
It's
money to
fun.
do that.
Yeah, thank you.
Yep. Thank you. Magnus.
Thank you to everyone and have a great week and keep up the great work. And this was a great meeting, Jean and Sandra. Great to see you. And I hope I can get more videos to you next time. See you later.
Aye, thank you, Magnus. And I did want to say, when I was watching Richard's rewatching this, I'm like, I want to be able to stand in front of a crowd, and we should all be able to say the basics of these things. And if anybody here is taking a speech class or whatnot, and you get up for 5-10 minutes, it goes quick. Just getting that repertoire down and going through it. I mean, we all know this information. It's just being able to intelligently put it in order and speak in front of a group. We should be doing that. Or I'm challenging myself. So thank you, Richard, for lighting that path.
Thank you. That was at the University of Delft in Holland, and there was like 750 people there. It's amazing.
He asked by show of hands, how many people have seen this information? He's counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, and then he goes the greatest speed count I ever saw in my life. And he goes on and he asks about how many architects are in here, and so they get an answer. And I think a little bit later he goes and shares some information. He goes, "All right, how many engineers?" And he goes, "Whoa, all right, there's more than 200 here." So it was pretty good. All right, Jack, you back?
Yes, I was pressing mute, unmute, and it just wouldn't react.
Technology.
So anyway, you said ghost peppers and marigolds. Was that what you said?
Yeah, if you're trying to protect your garden, from what I hear from the old timers, is plant marigolds around and ghost peppers, because they nibble on a ghost pepper and they're just like, nah, not going there anymore.
Also, how do I get to Mitch's show on Saturday? I didn't write that down.
It's Mick, and I made a really easy URL for everyone to remember. If you just go to 911warroom.com/Mick, the Zoom link is on that page, and that'll put you right into the call on Saturday.
And that basically means that you have to remember every Saturday that it's on, and that you wouldn't get an update if it was canceled like it was last weekend. If you really want to go the safe route, then ask him to add you to the email list, and you'll get the reminder. Well, you'll at least get the notification if it's canceled.
Yep. And his email is there on that page if you want to email him and say, please put me on the list. So Jane and Jack, if 911warroom.com/Mick, and you'll see his email address is right there on the page. You can copy that and send him an email.
Hey, Dean, I just wanted to interject real quick. In the chat, we've asked for Jerry's email, both Brian and I, at his request.
Yep.
So it's not public.
Yep.
If you could email that to me, great. Thank you.
We'll do. Thank you.
Also, I wanted to try to start a 9/11 video channel. I know I failed before. I tried to start a 9/11 media group and nobody signed up, but I wanted to try again because I think this is worthwhile, and you guys do have the good videos. So I was wondering, does anyone know a good email service that I could use?
I'll just tell you, you're talking about a monumental task in creating a website that will be able to house that much data. I know Dave Cole for a long time with what's his name? Help me, Jerry. What's the German guy's name? Mr. Koenig. They had 9/11 terabytes, I think was the site, and they couldn't afford it. And it was like 4 terabytes of information. It's just a drop in the bucket of all the information we have. So not to discourage you, but I think unless you're a specialist on web design and have a hosting or a server platform that can, it's a That's going to have to be handled by an organization, I think.
Well, I do have an expert friend who might counsel me in secret. He doesn't want to be known that he's connected to it. But does anyone recommend a good web server besides GoDaddy? My friend was cut up by GoDaddy, so I don't like them.
Yeah, that's what I use. Let's talk more about that. I'll send you an email.
Okay. Thanks a lot.
Jack.
Bye-bye.
Joshua Schoenfeld, anything for the group?
Oh, good evening.
Good evening. Always
Earlier
pleasant.
this month, Abraham Foxman, he was the longtime head of the Anti-Defamation League, died. And it's very interesting. About 13 years ago, in New York City by Ground Zero, there was a plan to build a mosque or Islamic center, I think a couple blocks away from Ground Zero. And Abraham Foxman came out against it. And I believe the problem with that, with him being the head of the Anti-Defamation League, which is supposed to be a pro-civil rights organization, is that by opposing the mosque, he tried, I think it sent the message that all Muslims have some sort of responsibility or guilty regarding 9/11, which I think is a very hateful and ignorant position that he took. So I believe with Foxman's passing, I really think that's something that people should take note of when they remember him.
Yep.
So thank you.
Thank you. Yeah, this news article, Abraham Foxman, anti-Semitism empire for the ADL dies at 86, and that happened back in, that just happened.
Yeah, a few weeks ago.
Oh, wow. Okay, 10-4. Thank you for sharing. Have a good evening.
You too.
Just to jump in there, remember that crazy thing how they put a piece of a landing gear in between two buildings? That was also part of it. They call it the Terror Mosque, and it was a community center. And I think I don't know if anyone matched the serial numbers. I'm sorry, I'm vague on the details, but it was clearly planted evidence. And if it was from the planes, that in itself was just a damning act of exposure. The statement was that it flew out of the towers and just floated down and landed with a rope around it. I think there was a rope around it. Some people say it was the one they were going to remove it with, but there's no way it ended up in a very skinny alleyway in New York City. So it was planted. So sorry.
Yep. There's I just had it, and then I clicked. Doggone it. Should have just stayed there. There's the rope.
If that piece of landing gear were planted, why would it show up? Why would they make it show up? How many years later? Like 12 years later?
They're dumb. Sorry, that's my opinion.
Dumb.
Sorry. Yeah, I'm just saying they're really brash in the way they're playing these operations out. And I think that's just an example of.
It was 2013.
They found it 12 years later, and you would think if they would have gone to the trouble of planting it, that they would have dug it up sooner.
No, I think it was a PSYOP connected to the mosque. So they wanted to reprime, just like they do terror attacks all the time on us. But
so it was it one of those buildings going to be the mosque?
It was in the area. I don't even know how clear it all was. I think it actually was next to maybe one of the Orthodox places or something. But
rear of 51 Park Place.
Yeah, it was. I just knew it had some proximity to the community center. And then it was this whole propaganda thingy. Good riddance to Abe Foxman. I don't know if anyone saw the movie Defamation, but I will put a link in the chat if you want to know about the weaponization of anti-Semitism, which has brainwashed Israelis and many American Jews.
That reminds me. The movie Empire of Lies. Did you guys discuss that, Gene and Sandra?
No.
I saw it last night with Gail. It's 1 hour and 16 minutes long. It's about a conspiracy theorist whose daughter was murdered in a conspiracy. And he's interviewed, and he asks all of
Empire of Lies.
He lists all of these conspiracies to her, because he's trying to educate her and she's trying to figure out why he believes in all these conspiracies. But he mentions them all. Goes into some depth on Building 7.
Oh,
And yeah, it's
this is it.
really well done and a very dramatic conclusion that I highly recommend everybody see, just because they don't paint conspiracies or 9/11 in a bad light. Some might think that they do because he is a little bit nuts. But
Aren't we all?
what he's saying is not nuts. It's all truth. It's fascinating.
Huh. Was this it? Empire of Lies trailer?
Yeah, you'd be worth playing the trailer. It's only a minute and a half long.
Tell me about the night your daughter was murdered.
Get on your knees! Why are you here? Who sent you? Who the fuck sent you?
Beep.
Mr. Harris? Will you talk to me?
How do I know you're not a psyop?
Cyborg?
Psychological operation. What the government does on a daily basis through people like you, the media.
I really want to hear your side of the story.
Look, the damage is done.
I'm not trying to trick you.
Why are you here?
The police say you murdered your daughter as an act of revenge against your ex.
It's the pig's plan all along. Frame the father who's got a bit of a record, let the real fucking killer go free.
Do you know who the killer is? The actual killer.
That is someone with hate in his heart.
So what's your theory then? Who butchered my daughter?
You know who your daughter's killer was.
Got nothing to say to you people.
My daughter was assassinated by the state because she was about to expose some very high-level corruption.
Do you have any evidence?
I know. I know.
What if you're right? You're out here in complete isolation.
Well, then leave us alone.
How do you know they're not coming here right now?
You're right, they'll come for me. They will.
My life is over.
Your daughter!
My daughter's dead!
Did you murder your daughter?
Empire of Lies. All right.
Well, you wouldn't know from the trailer.
No, but I'll be looking forward to that Building 7 talk.
Richard, you're muted.
It is indeed excellent.
That night your daughter was murdered.
Brilliant plot twist at the very end. Blew me away.
Why are you here? Who sent you?
Peter,
Stop it.
it's lagging. There we go.
Mm.
Thank you, Richard.
Is there a way to watch the whole movie?
Yeah, you just it's on Amazon Prime. You rent it for $2-3.
What if we don't have Amazon Prime?
Then you rent it for even more.
Yeah, Prime don't.
No, I have Yandex.
Oh.
I'll find a
Yes.
stream
Yeah,
somewhere.
he'll hack it somehow.
So it
All
hasn't made it to YouTube yet.
Yep.
It's a slow starter, but the end is absolutely brilliant.
Thank you. Rao, do you have anything? You're there.
No,
Yep.
I don't have anything.
All right. Thank you for being here.
Just listening. Yep.
Appreciate that. Thank you. I lost track now. Sue, anything for the group?
Anything so talked?
Susie?
Yeah, you already got me.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, thank you for everything. This was really productive for me.
Thanks, Susie. Andrew typically doesn't have a mic. Jerry, anything for the group, sir?
Yeah, on the film thing, there was a film in 2007 called Shooter, right? As in Man with a Gun.
Yes.
And if you go to 9 minutes and 11 seconds into that film, he's ex-Special Forces, this guy. He goes up to his PC and the 9/11 Commission report is sitting there. And he sits down at his computer and he says, I wonder what bullshit they're trying to feed us today.
Oh,
Hollywood News. So it's a film called Shooter. It's on YouTube. You can get the full film there. And 9 minutes and 11 seconds in, you see the dog goes to the fridge, gets him a Budweiser. Then it comes up to his computer. 9/11 Commission report sitting there. Sits down at his computer, switches it on, and says, "What bullshit are they going to feed us today?"
that's incredible.
I was trying to find it real quick and I couldn't find it.
Oh, I think did you put the link in the chat, Jerry? Because I saw you mentioning it in the chat.
I've seen that film. It's Mark Wahlberg is the star of it.
Wahlberg?
Yeah. My only criticism, I found that really fascinating too, that film, but the issue is with a lot of Hollywood movies, it ends up being reduced to like a bad guy within the government, like one guy that sort of was the bad guy.
Yeah, someone who's rogue.
Which is unfortunate. They feel the need to kind of do that. But that's kind of what the norm is, I guess. Same thing with Enemy of the State, which was another pretty interesting movie.
Oh, I thought I had it. Thank you. Thank you, Jerry. Wait, I got one more try. I might have it. I love it. Oh, yeah, here we go. Cool, got it. Good at 9 minutes. 9 minutes. 9:10, 9:11.
Oh boy.
There it is. That's pretty cool. Thanks for that, Jerry. All right. Al, anything for the group? If you're still there, try to help you find the mute button. Oh, I'll look for Al to come off mute. Did I get everybody in the room? Anybody else? Oh, there's Al. Anything, Al?
You already got me.
All right, thank you. Sandra, anything for the group?
You get that?
Oh, sorry. Thought Al was still talking. Not really. I just want to just reiterate that the content of the conference, especially the inside content, if you will, not the invited guests, like, the podcasters and the independent media or whoever, the comedians who might be coming during those 4 days. As far as our content, I was just based on the conversations that we've had, I'm just giving my general feel of where it would go. This hasn't even been discussed in terms of what specific issues will be addressed and how they will be addressed and who will be addressing them. Richard, if you know more than I do, but I mean, we really haven't gone into those kinds of details at all, of the specifics, and it will only be coming in once we got the other stuff nailed down. So I don't want to give the wrong impression. I'm not speaking for the group. I'm not confirming anything. This is my sense I get from whatever discussions we have had.
Mm-hmm. Also, something else to mention about the 25th anniversary event. We were entertaining to have it at, where was Glenn Corbett's place?
Oh, John Jay College.
John Jay College, but unfortunately, well, firefighters are having a presentation or memorial event on 9/11, and they thought, oh, things could get a little too hairy, so no, we really would not like to have you guys there at that same time. But I would like an entertaining idea for the activists to do something respectful outside of the John Jay College, not sit there and yell 9/11 was an inside job with black shirts, but something a little bit more professional and presentable to the firefighters that are going in and out of that venue. So be thinking about that more as time goes on.
Because that's on the 11th specifically.
Yeah, that might not work.
Yeah, I mean, unless someone wants to do it in the morning, because we're not starting on the 11th until the afternoon.
Mm-hmm. Meh.
But anyways.
Keep on activisming. Thanks everybody for being here, checking in this week. Let's talk again next time. Have a good evening and a great week.
Have a good week, guys.
Thank you, everyone.
Bye, thanks.
Good night.
Hey.
Gentlemen, you can't fight in here. This is the war room.